diddly do, and we are live in our triumphant return. Woo!
Hello.
The fellow Naniri here as well.
I am here.
Huzzah!
I'm
Can everybody
alive.
Hear us? Yes, Naniri is in fact alive. Turns out your schedules are just hard to sync up. Bing! Good to see, glad to have you. Lolly, curse you, Google ho! Indeed. Cat, good to see, glad to have you. V, good to see, glad to have you. Reminder, no spoilers. If you want to spoil for you, then don't spoil for others. Yeah, we don't really have to worry about this. I get so much for some of the earlier FFs, but yeah. I know almost nothing about the plot of FF2. Well, we can talk about it a little bit from our fractured memory, seeing as I think we've been off for the better part of 3 months.
Oh my god.
But also the main plot of 2 is, well, much more existent than 1. But, you know.
Star Wars.
The amount of times that the plot of a Final Fantasy game can be, you know, like Final Fantasy 12, Shakespeare does a Star Wars. Final Fantasy 9, existential nihilism does a Star Wars. You know, it works.
It does work.
I can't speak for anyone else, but I'm positive you aren't the only one. Yeah, I mean, we basically, what has been the plot thus far? Evil Empire comes in. A group of 4 friends try to battle the Empire, but one of them is quickly lost and mysteriously has not reappeared since. There's been an evil knight chasing us around. I wonder what could be on with that. Magic, wander. David Bowie as an emperor.
Hell yeah.
Get swallowed by a giant fish and now end up here on an island.
Oh my god, the fish is like that big asteroid. It's all Star Wars.
It's all Star Wars. Every Final Fantasy is just Star Wars. Every element in every Final Fantasy is just Star Wars.
Dalamud is just a Death Star.
Okay, that's just facts, though. I mean, think about it. Like, Alag is just, yeah. Yay.
Right?
Clockwork, good to see, glad to have you. Yukio, good to see, glad to have you. Sarah, good to see, glad to have you. There's that voice that we miss so much. Welcome back, Naniri. Can 14 be described as a Star Wars? Can 14 be described as a Star Wars? Yes, if you're talking about... Yeah, especially if you're talking about extended universe. You know?
There's probably a Star Wars out there, right?
Is Dynamis just like the Yu Zhong Vong or like, you know, the Salamiri? I mean, think about it, like if the Force is Aether.
But then again, the Force is kind of Dynamis as well.
Yeah. So is Aether the Salamiri? Nah, I'm just confused.
Aether is lasers.
Oh, beautiful. I need some game recommendation because I reached 90 with Black Mage. I'm going to take a break. Well, you'll probably reach that. It depends on what type of games you want, Yukio. Are y'all going to play Mythic Quest when we were playing through the series? Maybe. We were planning on just playing the main line. However, maybe we'll stream those over on Twitch in our free time. Free time.
Right? Yeah, I mean, we've discussed about what we're going to play. Oh, sorry. Yukio, I'll give you like 3 just general recommendations. I gotta plug Disco Elysium. Crazy good. FF9.
We're gonna play that one. Don't give them ones that we're gonna get to.
Fair point. Oh god, what games can I recommend?
What
games
was that?
have I played?
Horror visual novel you're playing?
Oh, Higurashi. Yeah, I mean, if you like visual novels, play Higurashi for sure.
I mean, Disco Elysium is kind of, in some ways, a visual novels with extra steps.
Yeah, I guess it's an evolution of a visual novel, right?
I guess I should take that back. It's probably closer to a CRPG, but without combat. Right?
Oh, yeah, I was reading a really... not to get off topic immediately, but I think that's our modus operandi now. But I was reading a post about how Disco Elysium uses the absence of combat, and how, you know, you could just go through it without getting a weapon. And if you do, so it was this person who didn't get the weapon on the first playthrough, any real weapons, and you know, was like, there's that big speech about how many people died that Kim gives you after the negotiation, after the standoff. Yeah. And they're like, okay, next run through, I'll get the weapons and I'll do that. And then the amount of deaths is the same, and Kim phrases it slightly differently, but still talks about how regrettable it is, and then you realize, yeah, because you killed people.
Yep. I love. I also love that. Also, even the difference of bullets is like a material to what happens, but also the way in which that game deals with simultaneously, like the rejection and acceptance of inevitabilities. Right? Like the entire game is just a bunch of people trying to contend with the accepting that change that was inevitable happened, and how they deal with it in different ways.
Yeah, basically, and then you have the crazy sniper who's just like not accepting any change.
Yeah, it was just like, nope, times may change, but I will not.
Oh yeah, I played through Hades recently. I enjoyed it.
Let me catch up on chat real quick. I think ARR at least could be a Star Wars. I mean, but is ARR really? I mean, guy says discount Darth Vader, but you know, who is Jar Jar? Who is Jar Jar in 14? Is it Lise? Well, is it Yida?
Jar Jar. Is it Alpha Note in ARR?
No, because he's too competent. I mean, oh, but I guess who's the most annoying?
Who's the most annoying? Well, of course, it's what's his name? It's oh god, the knight, the noble son.
Manuelin?
Yeah, Emmanuel. He feels like a Jar Jar.
Oh, Manuelin does have some Jar Jar energy. It's fair. Definitely Animal Crossing vibe, but Cozy Cove is fun when I need a break from 14. Yeah, it depends. Yukio, it's super. If 14 is Star Wars, then where are my lightsabers at? I mean, have you seen some of the glowy weapons in the game? I mean, a bunch of those katanas might as well be lightsabers. A bunch of the Algan weapons too. I feel like roguelites have been really getting back into Hades. Hades is great. Oh man, there's a lot of good games out there. You could play the new Dead Space. It's very good.
I've heard it's pretty good. Yeah.
I do want to talk to you about that, but also we should probably get going into the story a little bit.
Yeah, let's get going into the story a little bit.
I was just thinking about that same row NPC, but the problem is he's not in the game enough. So we're here at this tower in order to try and do the thing with the torch, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Pretty.
Huh. Yeah, honestly, they do a pretty good job with some of the effects in this game, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, now obviously we've got 1,200 things we want to talk about, but you have to understand, guys, we've only been we got on a call like 15 minutes before we started, so we haven't really had a great chance to catch up either. But maybe it's a controversial take, but I honestly really prefer like the PSP and like the GBA versions of a bunch of like the art in these games over the original and pixel remaster. Like even a good example to me is like the final version of the Emperor.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think there's merit in some of these newer versions, but also you can't really beat like the old retro style. It's timeless.
I get maybe. I mean, but just like Emperor final boss right now. I don't know. You probably can't see my screen, but like the final image for the Emperor is just like golden and like slightly Lovecraftian. But like the classic version of the Emperor that people think of when they think the Emperor, like Emperor Mateus, and is actually comes from like the PSP and mobile version, and like in my mind, at least most people, when the like purple, like the famous purple cloak, right, and all of that aesthetic. None of that's a part of the original.
Yeah, okay. I always picture him as the heaven version that you fight. The
Oh yeah?
The really celestial looking one I don't think that's in the GBA games, but
yeah.
Oh, is it only in the GBA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Emperor of Heaven Epic 2. Yeah, Emperor Soul of Rebirth is in the. They also put it in the PSP, so when they brought it back into the PSP, but it's only in the GBA and PSP versions. It's not in the original.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I like that vibe. Yes, Vithena, you do need to start playing Dark Souls. I love the Dark Souls series.
We get. Oh, by the way, people have been asking for another drunk stream. So Dark Souls 1. Oh, speaking of, we're in the middle of raising money to get you a little chibi. You're probably not watching the stream, but...
I am. I have the stream so I can follow, chat.
We got a little chibi of Elio made, and our next funding goal is to get a little chibi of you made, and we're gonna try to over time buy.
That's so cute.
Mods and peeps, yeah.
I'm obsessed with Chibi Elio.
We
should get like a Chibi Elio ripping his shirt off. We should get that.
You've been back for all of 30 minutes, and you're the worst of them all in terms of degeneracy.
Well, that's no surprise. Yeah, I missed you too.
I finished AD. Jar Jar's the bro NPC. I literally got Jedi Red Mage Glam. Yeah, here's the dynamic duo united. Daniel, good to see, glad to have you. Dez, good to see, glad to have you. And yes, it's very good to be reunited. Oh yeah, the new theater rhythm game. I was just listening to a podcast that was talking about that this morning. For Final Fantasy, definitely should check those out. Rachel, good to see, glad to have you.
Oh, wait, did the stream just go down?
Lower, I think.
Oh no, it was just my computer was trying to play me an Oni Plays video for some reason. Like it said up next.
I think also because
YouTube.
I'm streaming to you right now, the stream health is a little low, so I'm gonna change the quality that I'm
Okay,
getting.
cool.
Let me know if anything becomes illegible.
Yeah, I will do. I mean, it seems fine now.
Excuse us, guys.
I'll just watch through YouTube.
Okay.
Oh no, this is perfect. This is still fine.
Okay, awesome. I know the there's a path of no return once we get a little further in, so that's why I'm searching all this lower level. Also gives us some time.
Okay. Smart. Yeah, the theater rhythm. I saw some rumblings about that. And I would also like to sort of posit Brayflux as Jar Jar.
I'm torn because on the one hand, I dearly love Gobbies. I feel like well, no, okay. Brayflux simultaneously the trouble that she gets into and also the way she gets out of it. Okay, no, I can get behind this.
Yeah.
Gobbies
And
also
plus,
have some Ewok
you know,
energy.
true. And the Gungans are like their main thing is like using grenades and stuff, so that fits.
Oh yeah, explode. Yeah, okay. You're winning me over. I'll give it to you. I'm listening to a few things I want to politely ask stuff in the 14 forums, one being 3 NPC hairstyles. Yeah, good, Yukio. Yeah, take advantage of I keep trying to reiterate this to everyone. They do read the forums, both the English and the Japanese. Like, if you make, like, things that are, like, feedback that are meant to be really helpful and are, like, politely worded, you will be surprised how many people agree with you, and then also that they're much more likely to actually take that and do something with it. Like, I keep telling Umino to write this thing up about their, they have a bunch of UI stuff that they want.
Yeah, the community outreach team is great.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like part of that was also a lot of that was standard was, if not set, at least concreted by people like Koji, who were like actively a part of the forums of the community in the days after 1.0.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely love that. And then I also kind of hate having to troll through old Koji forum posts to find lore.
Yeah, because there's like some good lore bits that we should probably just get those, scrape those all, and put them into one like mega doc, shouldn't we?
We really should actually, yeah.
Bean or
the
you write a note that we got to do that.
A lot of the Pagel lore is hidden in those forum posts.
Right. By the way, for our next lore talk, we still doing Limsa? Because I feel like I have notes for that.
Yeah, let's do Limsa.
Because we done Ul'dah, we done Gridania.
Yeah, let's do Limsa. Limsa feels like the right place to go next.
Nice. My personal favorite version of FS was the PSP version. Those looked beautiful. Daniel, I'm with you. I feel like this is one of those things where like you talk to someone with like original trilogy Star Wars, and you're like, back when Star Wars didn't look like crap, or at least that's what I remembered in the early aughts. And I'm like, to me, I find the prequels beautiful. And whether you do or don't, setting that aside, my point more is like, I feel like I know a lot of people are like, oh, the pixel remasters are the best way. It's like, this is how it should look. It's how it's supposed to look. Otherwise, it looks like crap. And I'm like, I think this looks less good. I mean, it looks good, but I just think like I'm less drawn to it aesthetically.
No,
Rick
I mean
Rickard
that's
on
fair. It's a different style.
Yeah. Rip Rickard, our permanently dead friendo on the floor. Yeah. Our Dragoon friendo.
Yeah, that's the temporary party members for you. Except for no, Teller isn't in this game. Except for
No, he's 4.
Ume.
Une is 3.
Yeah, Une and Doga, right? What was that guy's name? The white
You mean
mage.
every
dude.
Minmu?
Minwoo. Minwoo is okay.
Yeah, he was a good guy. I mean, pretty much almost. Has it been like half and half for our party members that join us dying versus like leaving for some reason?
Yeah, pretty much. Joseph got squished by a boulder.
Right, fake Prince dude survived.
Yes.
I would fund that.
Yes, it was Vithina. The note was to scrape Koji's posts.
I'm just gonna catch him in chat. Next funding goal is to turn IRL, Elio, and Neri into chibis through mad science. I mean, there are worse fates.
I'd do it.
Demands!
It might impact my Mai Tai career, but...
Sorry, Demands, good to see you, glad to have you, man. I've been worried about you. I've been mentioning at other streams. I'm like, oh, Demands is okay. I haven't seen them around recently.
I have summoned
good.
Demins.
Naniri actually switched from Asked to Summoner.
Well, tempting. I like Summoner.
Yeah, current Summoner is fun. I think so, anyways. Oh, hello, Secret.
I used to play a lot of Priest, so I feel like Summoner's like Shadow Priest vibes.
Yeah, I can get that. I feel like the easy thing people be like, oh, it's Warlock, and it's like,
Yeah, actually, I mean, I guess Affliction Warlock, right, but...
Right.
But like spreading dots and stuff, it feels Shadow Priesty.
Yeah. Well, it depends on you talking about Summoner from before 6.0 too. You know, because like current Summoner doesn't deal in those dots no more.
Yeah, which is a real shame for me. I feel like that was a really interesting subcurrent in the class.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna put a pin in that because I definitely want to talk to you about that as well. Let me catch up on chat. Okay, it feels so shameful. I brought a can of Pringles and told myself only to eat 6, but I ended up eating half a can. I mean, to be frank, I don't know why you would ever expect yourself only to eat 6 Pringles. Snacks like that are made to be demolished. Bean is correct.
Yeah, like 6 Pringles. That's like one regular crisp / chip.
V and Bean, I feel like I'm gonna need you guys to, every time I say put a pin in it, and start making like a list of notes of things me and Neri need to go back to. I know you're paying Yukio. Once I start eating a bag of Doritos, I can't stop. That's why I no longer buy them, sadly. Yeah. Elio, I want to politely ask for 3 NPC hairstyles, and all 3 of them are oracles. I mean, hey, go for it. American snacks are so expensive, so like $3. Like $3 to you guys is 123 pesos to me. Yeah. I mean, I remember the days when I would like import Japanese snacks. Linz and never will you find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy other than the quicksands in Balmond. Yeah, V got that. I didn't believe the Pringles jingle till today. Once you pop hits. I've been having a time trademark lately, and I just haven't had the energy or will to do much of anything beyond the bare necessities. Well, Dimins, just know that we have been thinking of you, and don't worry that you don't need to force yourself to do anything. Just know that definitely have been on our minds and in our hearts. Man,
and we feel
you
you also.
Yes, and we feel you. Me and Naniri both have had our trials and tribulations of late.
We certainly have. I wonder if Steam is downloading something. I hate it when it does that without telling me.
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh no, don't update Steam. That's exactly the opposite of what I wanted you to do.
I'm gonna check my Steam. No, my Steam.
Oh, I bought a Steam Deck. I gave in.
Oh! Do tell. How you enjoying it?
It's pretty good, actually. You know, not all games work great on it. But it's pretty good.
At least they
Dark
warn
Souls
you,
works
though,
pretty
right?
well on it.
You know? Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I
they
mean, I
do
think it's
warn
not
you before you buy
surprising.
it.
Like that system that they have to have like, you know, hey, this works great, hey, this doesn't work so great, or hey, this is not tested. You know, at least you're informed.
Yeah, exactly. It's a useful system in that regard.
Well, and their apparently workflow for it. Sorry, what's up?
No, I was just gonna say, Yukio hid the Pringle can from themselves. I don't know how you did that. I can only imagine it was with copious amounts of alcohol to give yourself blackout, but I respect it either way.
Oh, speaking of, you know what I have?
Oh no. I'm nervous. No, it's not drunk stream yet. Well, never say never, but
Green apple sake.
ooh, nice. I love green apple flavored things. I'm like obsessed with sour food.
Have you ever had Hana Fuji apple sake?
I have not.
Okay, well, when we inevitably meet up for the first time, I will buy it and we will drink it together, and it will be glorious.
That sounds good. I love to get smashed, and I love sour food. And then we need to get some spicy food as well.
not, I'd love to drink this wonderful drink. Not, that sounds delicious. Yes, I'd love to get smashed.
No, the other parts goes unsaid.
I thought the getting smashed was the part that went unsaid.
Well, you're right. Why not both? Daniel, yeah, so sake is a weird one because it takes on so many different characteristics. Like you have sparkling sake that's very light and fruity, and then you have normal sake, cold, which is quite harsh, and then warm sake is it still has that harsh alcohol taste, but it's very comforting. And
do you think it's harsh? Because I feel
you can really have your.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, just maybe like harsh for someone who doesn't like hard liquor.
Yeah, I guess like because it's not like vodka, right? Like to me, I find it very, as someone who doesn't like hard liquor, I find it very smooth. The other thing that's nice about sake is that it goes really well. So like one, it goes really well when it's infused with something. It just feels tastes very natural. The other thing is that it goes very well, in my opinion, when you mix it with other things. So if you do like 2/3 Coke, 1/3 sake or something like that, you keep all the best parts of the flavor of the sake, and then you also get the best parts of the flavor of the mixed in drink. Whereas like some other drinks, you can taste both. Whereas like sometimes when you do things like a Coke and rum or whatever, you know, it's just its own thing.
Right. That's true. I mean, sake mixes surprisingly well for a drink that was absolutely not developed to be mixed.
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, no, I it's not like vodka. It's nowhere near that level. Like you can drink sake without like wincing or going like.
In my mind, it's closer to wine in terms of like it's different. Its dryness and like is different, but it is like it's not. But maybe I'm also weird. Like I don't find wasabi that spicy, so maybe I'm just weird.
Wasabi's such it's not like spicy, is it? Like the only time that you're gonna get real burn from from wasabi is if you exhale through your nose when you're eating it.
Yeah, I feel like the thing with like wasabi too is that it's like horseradish spice versus you know, capsaicin spice.
Yeah.
And so like horseradish spice just doesn't hit me that hard.
No, it's definitely not as intense as like a chili is. But I find there's like a bunch of different like flavors of spice. Like Korea, like gochujang, has like a very different spice to me than chili.
100%. There's no question. Like you compare like even like Korean spices and like spicy food compared to like Indonesian is like wildly different.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
I enjoy soju myself. I'm not a huge soju fan, but soju kind of proves the point. The only sake I've ever had was very floral and smooth. Yeah, wasabi isn't so much as spicy as it is clears your sinuses. There's a Japanese eatery-style restaurant near my house. So far, I love certain items, though I must ask why they have umeboshi or umaboshi garnish curry cutlet rice and gyudon. That's because that stuff's good. Oh, dude, golden curry with tonkatsu and like gyudon is like literally my perfect meal.
Yeah, you can't. Man, oh my god, golden curry is so comforting.
It's so good. Well, and it's also crazy how adaptable it is because you can put in potato or carrot or onion or beef or chicken or pork. Like you can put in whatever you want, and as long as you like let it like stew in there and like get tender, it's delicious.
Listen, look, if you give me golden curry and it doesn't have at least some big unwieldy potato chunks in it, I don't want to talk to you.
I feel like you are a person after my own heart, Neri. Okay, let's talk to this red mage for this story. You made good progress, but you must defeat me if you wish to continue your ascent.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Ah! He's hot.
Is that a... I was gonna go with something about erect engorging penises, but you know what? That works. I mean, actually, knowing your preferences, that does fit.
Well, yeah, there is that. I don't like his underwear. I don't like his little tighty whities.
Tiny whities, he couldn't be more brown.
Oh, well, they were tighty whities at one point. Listen,
like
no one wants a soppy brownie.
What? Wolfman, good to see you. Glad to have you. Sorry, go ahead.
I said nobody wants a sloppy brownie. You'd much rather have a tighty whitey.
Oh, that's not imagery I needed. Yeah, Dan, you should definitely try sake. I can recommend some brands too.
Yeah, I've got some brand recommendations as well. Honestly, like I feel like a good place to go and try your first sake is like an Igakachi style restaurant if you have one nearby.
Yeah, I feel like the place, the access that most Americans are gonna have is like a random hibachi in the middle of nowhere. Frankly.
True. Lame, but true.
Look, we can't all live like a 1 hour plane ride away from Japan.
It's 6 hours, but yeah, fair.
Is it really 6 hours from Singapore to like Tokyo?
Yeah, about 6. But we have a huge diaspora here, a huge Japanese diaspora.
Yeah, it must be just because you guys are more close, like equatorially. So like when I look at maps, it seems like you're in closer proximity than I would think. Oh.
Yeah, we're Oh my god, these imps are fucking us up. No, Daniel, trust me, I get it. I'm from the UK. I'm from rural, deep rural UK, so I get it. I get not having access to good food.
If you think America's bad, just try a lot of the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I'll defend some of the food from the UK, but like,
it's... how much of it is Indian?
Well, yeah, the vast majority, but not all of it.
Yeah,
not all of it.
Not all of it, but the vast majority.
We make a good pie.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
So Yukio says, "Who among the Saiyans would be a lightweight drinker? My money's on the twins." I'm gonna go with Graha.
Yeah, Graha's definitely number one in that. Urianger, I just imagine doing the scene from the cut. I think it's a cut scene from Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers when Gimli and Legolas are drinking, and after like 20 rounds, Legolas is sitting there having drank, and like tankard after tankard of ale. It's like, I'm starting to feel a tingle. I think it might be affecting me. I just imagine like Urianger being like the heaviest heavyweight, but not knowing it and not knowing how to deal with it.
Yeah, I feel like this, like everyone would expect him to be a lightweight, but you know, he spends too much time with Thancred lately for that to be the case.
Yustola just wouldn't let herself get drunk. Kral would be like happily sipping her like drink in the corner and laughing at people. I mean, Lisa's Alamegan, she'd get sloshed.
True, but like not easily. She'd get sloshed because she drinks more than everyone else.
No, but the cultural expectation is to get a little slosh, so she'd be aiming to.
Right, exactly. Oh, okay, a hibachi spot that has a menu that spans from sushi to bibimbap. I mean, I love bibimbap, so...
That's the thing is basically with a lot of the places here, you just get like Asian, like as all lumped into one big sum. My favorite though is the hibachi place near me that its menus are hieroglyphics because they looked vaguely Asian and no one knows the difference.
Yep.
It's all literally like it's like Egyptian menus, but like they're like they won't know.
That's absolutely batshit insane.
Especially for you, I'm sure.
I mean, I kind of love it. It's so like goofy cute.
Yeah. To me, like, it's an example of like the uncultured American joke being true, but in a genuinely funny way.
Is there not like, are the hibachi chefs all white?
No, a lot of
There?
them. Well, a lot of times they're different ethnicities. A lot of times they're Spanish. Again, they'll never know the difference. But no,
Interesting.
Most of them aren't actually, in my experience.
Okay. I guess they just didn't bother. Like, they just didn't want to have the argument with the employer about the menus.
I mean, a lot of them. I mean, yeah. The other thing is like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna argue like, hey, this is incorrect. It's like, and the employer's gonna be like, oh, I know, but it was the cheapest one, and there wasn't a good option other than that.
It's probably wingdings. Let's be real.
You just open it up and it's Comic Sans inside.
Right?
It is funny though. There's like
a place.
a whole. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just looking at the chat at Yukio. Name one city: Ishgard, Limsa, Gridania, Uldar, Shalayan, Savner, Doma, and Kugane that you would want diplomatic immunity in.
I mean, if you don't fuck around in Kugane, you don't have to worry about it. I feel like here's the question: if you have diplomatic immunity in like Limsa, does that give you it for the rest of the Eorzean alliance?
No. I mean, I guess Kugane would be like the other ones aren't gonna fuck with you if you don't fuck with them, and neither is Kugane really. But like on the off chance that the mainlanders, for want of a better word, decide to intervene a bit, I guess maybe it will help there.
Yeah, I guess. I guess if you think about like even like late Meiji, like the ability to like go in there and actually try and like deal with stuff in the real world. Yeah. Okay. I think of those, Kugane is probably the one that I would go.
Yeah.
With. I mean, but also I guess it depends on your point, Yukio. Because if your point is like, where do you want to go commit the most crimes, then that's like a different question.
Yeah, and I don't think diplomatic immunity grants you like protection from the Thieves Guild, right? They'll
No.
They're not. I mean, they're official, but I don't think they respect those kinds of things.
Also, Yukio, I don't think you'd get access to Charlene's archives, like just because you have just because you are immune from being prosecuted under their law if you commit a crime, does not mean they give you access to go do things. to go.
That would be very funny if that's how that worked. Like you could just walk into the Pentagon.
Just like literally, like just like the Chinese diplomat, like I'll take this classified document and this classified document and.
Right. Man, Kugane would probably be a really fun place to live, though. Like, it's so close to like all like so many different. Oh my god, the floors in this place just want to kill you. There's so many different like diverse cultures nearby it. Like you could get like Mongolian food, Arabic foods, Chinese, Japanese.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I heard a Jewish restaurant here in town get referred to as an Arab restaurant so many times because there are some signs in Hebrew. Texas, baby!
Oh man, I had some food the other day. It was really good. It was a.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was a beef brisket shawarma and like a falafel burger that I had.
Oh, that sounds so good. Oh, fuck! Why I can't believe you've done this.
It was so good, and like the shawarma was like filled with like really good Middle Eastern pickles as well. I was like in heaven.
What makes Middle Eastern like? What style is it for the pickles?
I feel like they're slightly less bitter.
Bitter?
That's really, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, no, they're not quite as like bitter as like a Western pickle. I feel.
When you say bitter,
Maybe even a little
just
bit.
to clear, you don't mean like vinegary, right? Like you specifically mean bitter.
I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. Neri, please, I can only get so erect.
I hear that all the time.
Oh, I miss you so much. I have to say, I made a steak and kidney pie at baking class recently. Couldn't even bring myself to take a bite. It smelled so foul. But at least you tried. I don't know how you Brits do it. About 1,000 years of practice, and they still boil everything.
So here's my hack. Don't go for steak and kidney. Like, it's traditional, but no one likes steak and kidney as much as they like steak and ale. Make a steak and ale pie.
You made good progress, but you must defeat me if you wish to continue your ascent.
Go on then, get your cock out, I guess.
Oh, 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 oh.
Oh, shit. I love that you've
Yep,
taken
there it goes.
no time getting right back into the game.
Oh man, I've never had poutine, but I feel like I'd really like it because we have cheesy chips with gravy in the UK, but it's not cheese curds; it's cheese, melted cheese.
I'm a heathen northerner who does not like poutine. Is not my thing. It's just such a mess.
Ah, but we have something called messy fries in the UK. It's like it's gonna sound horrible, but it's like cheese chips, so like thick chips.
Yeah.
Thick fries, whatever, like steak fries. Like ground beef, gravy, lots of cheese, like I said, all sorts of stuff mixed together. Like you'll have like onion rings in some of them, like various different meats in others. It's basically just like whatever the restaurant has in its pantry, or throw in a bit in with like a big serving of chips.
That sort of thing is super common here in the Midwest. Like like every bar you'll ever go to will have that. But like, I'm like, I like my thing.
Right.
I don't like things to be mashed up and mixed up, except for some reason KFC famous bowls, which are like the most like someone diarrhea vomited the entirety of the menu at KFC into a bowl, and for some reason I find that shit delicious.
I'd try it.
Don't-
Oh, see, Yukio, when I was living in the UK, when I would eat, didn't really like chicken wings, and when I would eat them in like the most like white person way possible. You know, like I would get, like hardly any of the meat off, basically. But since moving to Asia, I like perform fellatio on those chicken wings.
The most I'll straight up murder someone for a KFC famous bowl. The most exquisite trash, truly. Okay, so
There's a
first of all,
Korean fast food restaurant here that does a similar thing to the KFC famous bowl.
I was about to say what, fellatio's chicken wings?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what goes on in the back room. Far be it from me to judge.
However, they have to prep that deliciousness. It is,
Right? Do what you want to do.
Regardless. Going back. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say going back. Dead Space, because I know you were a little apprehensive when it was coming out. But like I played through the entire thing and I thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard. I think I was a little jaded because of the Calypso Protocol, which I did not find to be as good as people said it was. But Dead Space the remake seems.
Things. For Calypso.
I'd heard good things from, like my. This is a horrible term to use, but like my normie friends. But then from like my friends who critically inspect
Your less
media.
discerning friends.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, it's funny because all the circles I was in were very, like, people who wanted to like it and found it relatively middling. So when I got in and it was kind of that, I wasn't surprised.
Right. Oh, chili cheese fries. So I have tried that because we have Carl's Jr.'s here.
I always love that you never know which fast food joints are going to end up. Like, I never would have thought, yes, KFC, that's going to be the one that Japan goes gaga over. And yet, here we are.
KFC's everywhere, but like, have you ever heard of the Curse of the Colonel?
I have not. Please enlighten me.
So there was a Japanese baseball or football team. No, it was American. Oh my god, I don't know if it was Japanese or American, but either way, the story's funny. It was a football or a baseball team. I don't remember which one, and they after winning a big like a big championship, Japanese baseball team, thank you. They stole a statue of Colonel Sanders from outside of a KFC restaurant and threw it in the river. And every year since that, they lost the tournament. And they developed this mythos over the curse of the Colonel. And a few years, like a few decades later, this Japanese government sent a diving team into the river to dredge the Colonel up.
And did it work?
No. The Colonel is not so easy to forgive.
Oh, I want a meme. I now want like a meme of like Colonel, like Neri in like Colonel Sanders cosplay, with like laser beam eyes staring down dismissively. Japanese urban legends are weird. I mean, hey, you got the Chicago Cubs had the curse of the goat for like what 80 years or something. Like basically they wouldn't let a man into like one of their games who had a goat, and he cursed them, and then they never won the world. I forget what it was that they weren't winning, but they never won. They didn't win home games or something.
Nice, I believe that. Goats have mysterious powers. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Japanese urban legends are the tits. I love them.
I mean, that's how you get most of the stories about like Obake.
Yeah, I
Really
mean they've been
curse.
doing that shit for like
Thank you,
as much as like modern media has redefined yokai as like horror games, like horror stuff. Like they're mostly just urban legends. Like, and most of them are funny, not scary.
Also, Morgan, good to see you, glad to have you. I mean, the other thing is, and I'm forgetting his name, but part of the thing about, like, yokai and obake in general is that, like, they're, like, conceptualizing, not even conceptualizing, but, like, there basically was a kind of not Hans Christian, what are the dour German brothers who do that?
The Grimm.
Yeah, the Brothers Grimm. There's a basically someone basically pulled a Brothers Grimm by, like, collating all the different, like, Japanese folklore tales into, like, tones and like text that got shared around. So like a lot of like the yokai that are famous are a byproduct of that, and like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that like in the 19th century, sometime like that?
Yes, it was in the 19th century. I've seen images of it, of like pages of the manuscripts. Yeah, and that's where like all the artistic depictions come from as well.
Yeah. So like the Casa yokai, the umbrella with an iron leg.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Dour German brothers. So normal Germans. Correct. The stream just ended. Huh, that's weird, Morgan. I don't know what happened.
Apparently, you just have to refresh it and it'll work. So I think it's just being weird.
Oh, YouTube.
But it's not like it's not fully ended or anything.
It's been doing that for me on
Marlboro
man. Basilisk. Dude, I love the basilisks in Dark Souls. Just weird.
Yeah, but then there's that one side tunnel in that's above the Lake of Rot in Elden Ring. That's kind of a pain in the ass. That's full.
I know the exact one you're talking about. I do remember though going into that side tunnel and just thinking like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." And I just
right?
I like basically pulled a For Frodo moment and just ran in and just started smashing. I'm like, if you can't start spewing your petrification bullshit, you can't kill me.
I feel like that's the only way to deal with them. If you try and dodge around them, they make the terrain so much harder to deal with.
Yeah, it's true. I want to thank Chris Elio because thanks to his Nier streams, I went into the Nier lore rabbit hole. Oh, poor Yu-Gi-Oh. That is a quagmire.
I think not the worst, but you know what I mean by the worst. The worst Soulspawn area is the well in the fishing village.
Okay, but hear me out. You're not wrong, but also it's so like specific to that one area, and also the first time that you get surprised by those things, like when you, like, I lucked out because I like picked up the item, but I didn't walk backwards, so I turned around and looked up, and they were both just up there staring down at me, and I'm like, oh, oh no, this isn't gonna go well for me. Not gonna go well down.
No.
I love that how
No,
they fuck
those
you
things
over.
are horrible.
There's like, here's one avenue of escape to go down other than the ladder, and it's fucking Winter Lantern.
Oh,
it's just
yeah. Oh, Morgan, we love to talk Bloodborne. We are both certified Bloodborne enjoyers.
Bloodborne is my favorite Souls game, and that's why I have an actual saw cleaver. I actually recently, the wood shaft in it broke, so I've got to repair that with wood glue. But otherwise, I'd open it up. But full life-size prop.
It will explode and kill Elio if he extends it currently.
Just pull out my Chickage, stab it into me. For the views! Bloodborne was my first platinum trophy. I think Bloodborne was my first platinum trophy, actually, too.
Okay, so I read something the other day that I kind of agree with, but I feel like it's going to be hugely controversial.
Good, let's go.
Achievements have been a negative for gaming.
On the whole?
Yeah.
I know, I was having a conversation with a couple people recently, including, I think, V. Oh, Decoy, good to see you, glad to have you. That, as someone who, I don't like achievements or gamer score and stuff, I would probably be prone to agree, but I'd love to hear from the people who, like, it has really enabled you or pushed you to enjoy a game. For me, a lot of times achievements actually make me feel worse, because if I, like, complete a game and feel like I really worked hard, I did a bunch in this game, and I felt like I had a full experience, and then right after I finish, I'm told, you did 72% of the content. I'm like, oh, fuck, wait, just, like, you know, so for me, it's a lot of times for me personally a net negative, but, I want to hear what the arguments from what you were reading, but first I want to read this guy. You made good progress, but you must defeat me if you wish to continue your ascent. I know we all say the same thing, but it's mostly just because we're the same guy switching cloaks.
Right? So Daniel Morton says, we'll get back to the achievement stuff in a second, but Daniel says, is Bloodborne any easier than Dark Souls? I keep dying in the first section after the tutorial in Dark Souls 1, and I keep giving up. So the first thing, yeah, right, it depends. If you like avoiding more than blocking, and if you like to parry, it's probably no harder.
I
but
find
keep
Bloodborne
in mind,
easier because because I like to play aggressively and like to move around and dodge rather than playing chess. And Dark Souls seems like a game that's all about action, but really it's more about attack and response. It's more closer to, you know, input output, whereas like Bloodborne is much more about moving and so for me, I find Bloodborne easier, but I think for a lot of people its pace makes it harder.
I find it a little bit harder than Dark Souls, but not considerably. I will say the first section after the tutorial in Dark Souls 1 can be several sections. You want to make sure you're not going into the wrong one, because they are certain ones are much harder. So have a look around online.
Graveyard, yeah, if you're going into the graveyard off to the left, where all the skeletons are, don't. You want to go
right
up the path with the guys who are throwing firebombs.
Right. What I will say is I find Sekiro much, much harder than Dark Souls, but that's because I have not great coordination, so the whole parry system doesn't work for me. But I love the game.
Yeah, Sekiro, I feel similarly. I love Sekiro deeply on a number of levels. Sekiro is the game where FromSoft went, what if we actually made a game where we said you do have to be perfect, and there is a barrier. Like, literally, you just, not perfect, but you do have to literally just fundamentally be skilled enough to do what you need to do. Like the ethos that people say like Dark Souls and other FromSoft games have, Sekiro kind of actually does. And so even I struggle with Sekiro. I've never beat final version of Ishin. Yeah, I don't think I'm pretty sure I haven't. But
I do think the easiest Souls game is Elden Ring.
I think so too. with the caveat that you have to be willing to let yourself use every tool at your disposal. And I say that because I know a lot of people, including myself, who don't. So if you...
See, I do.
Yeah, if you let yourself use every tool at your disposal, every magic, every, level, every, summon, just letting yourself use any and every tool to get you a win, and not that it's cheap, not that it's, that makes Elden Ring the easiest because there's so many tools and so many things you can do.
Yukio, I don't know if I would say that Sekiro and Elden Ring are the only FromSoft games that have a clear story.
That's just not true.
I think Dark Souls 2 has a pretty defined story.
Yeah, if anything, I would say... I mean, the thing is that Bloodborne's also isn't necessarily defined. I mean, the only way is ill-defined because of how much... If anything, Bloodborne's is very similar to Dark Souls, the difference just being that there's more of the Eldritch aspect rather than the... metaphysics of the world aspect. I mean, there's still a lot of metaphysics of the world aspect. Sekiro has the most clearly defined. Elden Ring, ironically, has in some ways the least clearly defined, because it's so atomized. There's so much that is. It's so big that, yes, the Shattering War is a fairly graspable narrative in its surface level, but then you get into Marika's actual motivations and Mikola / Saint Trina. Right. If you get into the who's and whys of Elden Ring, you very, very quickly can have no comprehension of them and complete the game despite having tried to do a lot of things. Whereas Dark Souls 1, if you try to engage with that world and learn about the who's and whys, it's there, and it's not that hard to find.
Yeah, I would agree with Morgan that Sekiro's story is the most overt. It is.
I think it's fair.
There's less.
It's rooted in Wolf. It's because it's rooted in Wolf, right? You are not playing you. You are playing Wolf and their story, right? In a way that's not true of the Hunter or of the Chosen Undead or the True Monarch or
Yeah, I would say. I would say that it's a very different style of narrative. It is. There's obviously deep lore in Sekiro, but there's not so much to dig into on the same scale as the other ones.
Well, and part of it is because of how much of Sekiro is rooted just in Zen Buddhism, Shintoism, or Japanese history, right? So much of it plays as just an alternate playing out of a Japanese history in which there was actual magical realism.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the state's name. Ishin's
Ashina.
Ashina literally could have been a place that existed during the closing days of the Warring States period.
It could have. I mean, there literally was a house called Ashina. They're not particularly based on each other. The Ashina of Sekiro isn't supposed to be the Ashina of real life, but it could just, you take away the red eyes and stuff, and it could just be a domain in Sengoku, Japan.
V says, problem is some people don't have a passive mindset. It's nearly impossible to ignore since pretty much every game does them now. What did Des say? I even say games like 14 where you can get overwhelmed with how many things you have to do. If you go with the mindset that you'll have to get them all, I feel like they'll drive you mad. Oh, because they're talking about achievements. Yeah, we'll get back to that. Real quick, what I would say is that, the thing is that Sekiro doesn't only have a happy ending, Yukio. You have, the Shura ending. You have multiple possible endings. Not all of them are happy. Also, the only one, no matter what, basically either Kuro might die, Wolf might die, everyone might die. There's no perfectly happy ending. By the same token, the first Dark Souls ending is, a world of dark or a world of fire, and you're sacrificing yourself, and there's no exactly good ending. The True Monarch is even more ambiguous, and the endings in Dark Souls 3, I think there's multiple endings, some of which are more uncertain, but some of which, even the saddest one, which is my favorite, which is fire fades, but maybe this, sparks of life will dance again across the, the idea that it's all cyclical, and that, in a good way rather than cyclical in a cursed way.
So you're going to get me on my Fallout New Vegas horse here, which I can go on about for about 18 years. But I think a good metaphor for the Dark Souls endings is similarly to the core message of the Dead Money DLC in New Vegas, you have to be willing to let go.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, look at Gwyn, right? Like the first sin is rooted in Gwyn's inability to let go.
Exactly.
You got in here, you walk into
and
the
you see
desert on
that
a horseman.
Oh man, I was replaying some Fallout New Vegas the other day, and I was just like, this might be it's at least in my top 5 favorite games of all time.
Mm-hmm. As for rewards, you can do that in games without being tied to achievements. Example, the 14 mounts could be just a quest that unlocks once you have the others. Yeah, like the 14 mounts, yeah. Don't get me wrong, though, I do enjoy achievements on Steam, but oftentimes feel more pressure than fun. Yeah, that's how I feel, V. Because I was talking to you and a couple other people, I can't remember who it was about that. But yeah, that's interesting because I feel like we're very much on the same page, but I know you've enjoyed them in the past more than I have. With the big iron on there.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. The music of Fallout games gets stuck in your head. At least 3 and New Vegas did for me.
Catch me playing Fallout 3. No, Fallout 4. And when that Bongo in the Jungle song comes on, I'm just like, don't cancel me, universe.
I remember, like, when I was, like, what would it been, 08 or something, so I would have been, like, I would have been, like, 13 or 14 playing Fallout 3, and I just remember thinking after finishing it, I'm pretty sure if you, like, cut open my head and looked at my brain, the, like, lines, the owls are the hootiest, would be, like, just, like, there.
Oh,
like,
yes.
The gray matter would be spelling it.
Yeah.
Bingo, bongo, bongo, don't want to leave the Congo. I just remember,
Yeah,
too, I was, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so I also replayed some of Fallout 3, and I'm not one of those people that hates it. I think it's a good game. I just can't get into it as much, and I've played it several times, but I just can't get into it as much as I can, even 4.
See, that's how I feel about 4, so I totally understand. Like,
I kind of want to try Fallout 76. I've heard it's pretty good nowadays.
Ooh, that'd be fun to play with you. Like we did.
No,
like,
that would be
social
fun. That would be fun, yeah.
Enjoy being a relative term. As I said earlier, I appreciate the reminder of having them done and can give me goals to work towards when done well. Yeah, and I think to your point, V, I like when a game incentivizes me to do things. Like, I love that. Like farming the mounts for the EX mounts, right? I just like when it's like a point system or like, hey, a percentile, you must do this much to like be arbitrarily say that you've completed the entirety of the game. Especially in something like Bloodborne, right? Where you can platinum Bloodborne and still see never see large swaths of the Chalice dungeons.
I think that
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, we do have a Discord, which I think is in the description.
Yeah, it should be in the description, or Bean and V should be able to list it. But you can all join our Discord where you can talk to people like Miniri, and also other wonderful people. We do all sorts of content in 14 together and have an overall good time.
Right. What was I going to say? So on topic of some of the stuff that we said about 14 and about completionism in it, a little theory that I have is that people who didn't grow up playing MMOs like me and you did, Elio, it can almost start to think about MMOs in the wrong way and can really burn themselves up very easily on it. But having played WoW since I was 12 and Guild Wars since I was 12, like I think you get an innate sense that you can't. It's not the healthy way to play an MMO.
I feel like you're
Don't
right.
try and rush
so many
everything down.
people. Think about a lot of people though who still played WoW for long periods. Even Bean. And some other people in the chat know can comment on this. But like, I know a lot of people who never learned that lesson. Like who played MMOs long times but never actually got it in their bones to not burn themselves out, and instead just became more bitter.
That does sound like WoW players. I say that as a WoW player.
I think there's just something to be said about what you're saying with the inoculation of like experiencing games with large swaths of things where it's okay to let go of completing everything. But like to me, when a game creates a metric that is so very clear of like as someone who's not like on like a Bartle's taxonomy, right? You've got like the achievers and stuff. As someone who like oscillates between achiever and explorer, like being told, hey, there's this thing to achieve, but also doesn't really mean anything to me, makes me feel bad, even though I don't really care about it.
Yeah, it's nice to get at least like a title or amount or like a glam item or something out of it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't like it when flying is kept behind it. Wow. Also, Dragon Age. Someone's asking if we played. I played all the Dragon Age games many times, and my favorite is Dragon Age 2, which is a controversial pick. Origins is my second fave.
I have like literally, I think basically like 5 minutes of experience in 2. I've played Origins and a lot of Inquisition, but I didn't play 2. Can you help? Like, I think we've even talked about this best, but can you help me better understand what the strengths of 2?
Character rating is really good. I think the story is probably... Yeah, the character rating is the best out of the... I say that... I'm not going to say that it's objectively the best, but I am very strongly in defense of that it's significantly better than Origins and Inquisition. I would also say that the combat system has a lot to redeem it. Inquisition borrows a hell of a lot from it, actually. I think that the world building is pretty good in it.
Okay. As someone who's a very big Mass Effect stan, I'm with you there.
And obviously its weaknesses. So the main weakness I think of it is the fact that it just uses recycled maps all the time, and it's very closed world. But I am a closed world game defender. I almost prefer them.
I mean, there's a lot of times where I think something that is refined and has narrowed scope can be a really big strength. I would say that I won't say this about 2 because having not played, I shouldn't have an opinion on it. But I will say that like because of 2's development history, it wouldn't surprise me though if like that's less about it had the time to like have a really refined narrowed scope and just like we got to make this in a year. Holy shit!
Right, and I sort of feel element. And I love Inquisition. I think Inquisition is fantastic. I think Trespass is very, very good DLC. But it's one of those games that does open world in a way that's slightly frustrating to me. I just feel like so much of it is necessary.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it.
Yeah. That's what made me stop playing Inquisition why I didn't finish it was because of feeling that way. The Hinterlands hurt me so fierce.
Yeah, so see, that's the problem. Like, there are some really cool stuff. Like, you can find like a mansion that the Earl of Redcliffe centuries ago built for his gay lover, and like that's nice. But like, I don't need to clear out Bandit Camp 18.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely relate to that. I'm definitely, especially the older I get, more quality over quantity in general anyways. So, like, if they can find a way to thread that needle, the thing that I miss most about Origins is I just feel like Origins reminds me of, like, classic era BioWare, and I just, like, I miss some of that vibe, like your KOTOR. I mean, even, like, your KOTOR and your, like, KOTOR 2, your Mass Effects.
I mean,
like I'm a Mass Effect 3 defender. I'm a major Mass Effect 3 defender.
I like Mass Effect 3, yeah. I like all the Mass Effect games, but I think 2 is my favorite, then 3, then 1.
Oh, interesting.
I would say, well, not counting Andromeda, which has things to defend about it. That's my nicest thing to say.
Andromeda is the like even more far more egregious version of what we were just talking about with Inquisition, though. Like, it is just shockingly empty of anything meaningful. And yes, there are moments where there are meaningful things, but they are far, far, far too and far between. And they didn't narrow the scope; they expanded it, which makes it even worse.
Right, basically. I will say, I was really annoyed when Elden Ring was announced to be open world, but they did it so well.
Oh, they did it right.
They really did do it right.
Well, because it's rooted in like why Breath of the Wild for me, for instance, is right, which is that exploration is rewarded meaningfully. there's interesting things to find in the world that expand upon multiple things as well as increase your power in interesting ways. You never know what you're gonna find. On top of that, it feels like it feels like there is like a main task of trying and being slightly nudged towards trying to get like the main shards, right? So you have, Stormvale, you have Liurnia, you have specifically, I'm forgetting its name. School.
Ray Lucaria.
Rhea Lucaria, thank you. You have Rhea Lucaria, you have Aldous. You have like all these places that you're supposed to go, specifically, but you have all this free room to explore around them, which means that if you have control, but also are enticed to explore rather than feeling obligated, and more.
And every location is tied in and justified.
Yeah. Oh no, we lost a bean.
Oh no, Bean! Come back to us.
Speaking of Elden Ring, let's get out our gold needles.
I
wonder if that's
so
where that
you know,
came from. Like unalloyed gold.
yes,
gold
I think so. Yeah, I mean, obviously the unalloyed gold was obviously a thing that I think GRM wrote into Mikola.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that there was a reference made, linking it to the needle.
Yeah.
Yeah, co-op in Elden Ring is not great, but I don't think, actually, I genuinely don't think that co-op is a strong point of any FromSoft game.
I can't follow on the Dark Souls ones because the way in which, like, both cooperation with working with people and also being invaded and how that, like, has created so many magical experiences for me.
I don't like PvP. I turn the connectivity off when I play Dark Souls.
See, but I love the feeling of like random like to me, especially because thematically for Dark Souls for me is so much about like people finding their way in an impossible world, like being put up against people who are invading me and trying to stop me, and people who are helping me and trying to stop them, and trying to like this like push and pull feels so representative of the game world as a whole to me that even though I don't like having my progress, like someone invading me and like possibly killing me when I'm in the middle of like maybe this is the time I'm gonna get to the boss, so many wonderful moments have come out of it that I am a fan of it for Dark Souls. I don't think it's that, I think it's Bloodborne's fun because dueling people can be fun, but like it's not very strong. Elden Ring, because there's Ashes of War, doesn't matter that much. Sekiro just doesn't have it. Yeah. I'll also say Elden Ring might be my least favorite. Not least favorite, but like
Demon Souls is my least favorite.
Oh yeah, no, I guess Demon Souls probably. I give Demon Souls such a break though because of like when it was made, how it was made, and what it ends up like. The amount of ideas that from it are like brought forward.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I give it those breaks.
And like the wherewithal to like create, like it does. It's one of those games that does a sense of scale really well, despite how like limited in scope it is. And you have I mean like the Tower of Latria is just okay. Like, can we get more of that, please? Not just like, do I want more of that, but like that they did it at all. DS3.
Yeah, no.
I'm a big DS3 stan, personally.
Yeah, I'm a DS3 stan. I'm also a DS2 stan. I don't hate any of the FromSoft games, to be honest. I think they're all really good.
No, my least favorite FromSoft game is still going to be like in my top 100 games, like no question.
Yeah, well, except for Demon Souls, I probably wouldn't put that in my top 100.
See, I like Demon Souls a lot.
I like it. I don't know if I like it a lot though.
Tower of, I almost typed Mysidian.
Who was your Mass Effect romance, by the way?
Sani. Why am I forgetting her name? Oh man, I've been having Liara.
Oh, okay. Mine is I never meet anyone who has the same opinion as me, but it's actually Samara.
Yeah, I totally can understand. I totally understand that.
I'm like a big Samara stan. I also like Tali and Thane and Garrus and Liara and all
Samara's
that. But
so interesting and so like interestingly complicated. Especially like I love how 3 then also makes her role as a mother even more. What I mean, her loyalty mission in 2 already doing it, but then like her role amongst the sorry in general.
Yeah, the monastery stuff is like a really
Yeah.
cool mission.
I mean, I guess we're just both the sorry stands in this case.
Right. Morgan, I'm going to be honest. Samara the murderer. If a fictional character being, no, Samara's not the one who kills you through sex. That's her daughter.
Yeah,
Morin.
that's her. Her daughter's the Banshee, right? Banshee, what's the term?
Yeah.
No.
No, Banshee's the
Ariyashi?
corrupted ones who get corrupted.
Yeah, there's a specific term for it. Where? Okay, I got to this room. Okay, I just managed to enter in the one door that wasn't the right door. Because what
Nice.
else is new? You're willing to die for that snooze. Hey, at least they let you choose to do it.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
a pretty cool moment.
Samara doesn't want to be romanced. I
don't know.
mean, you
I feel
probably
like
went
there's an
for the-
avenue to.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of. You can have a lot of conversations where she like lets you. I don't know if there's like a path where she like seems more like that, but the conversations that at least I've seen are not necessarily that. Like.
Yeah, she's
it's more
definitely
that
not like.
She's closed off because she's had to be.
Yeah, she's not pursuing romance, but that doesn't mean she's like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, they also go to a lot of lengths to explain that Asari have very different perceptions, not only around sex and sexuality, but like also relationships in general.
Yeah, and a lot of the reasons she doesn't want a romance is because last time she did, she produced Morinth. Well,
Right.
I think isn't it stated that she'd produced multiple daughters of that kind?
I forget if it's multiple. It's been so long since I played 3. I couldn't say for sure. I just know that she has more than one daughter, I believe. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, because I feel like they're at the monastery where you go to rescue them to stop them from being turned into banshees. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh man, Dragon Age Awakening. Have you ever played that, Elio?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It's a DLC for. That's kind of like a sequel. It's kind of like a game in and of itself. It's a DLC for Origins.
Oh, interesting.
And it's crazy. It's about a. So one of the magisters who. Spoilers. One of the magisters who corrupted the Black Citadel and became a Darkspawn is like one of the 2 main antagonists, and he has been going around and making Darkspawn sane again, like giving them the ability to speak and think. And it's a like civil war between his faction and a faction that were driven insane by it. And the leader of the insane faction is a human brood mother with several tits.
Now, whose wife was that? A Green Asari? Green Asari.
I feel like I remember that Green Asari. Oh, I will say, one defense of Andromeda is that one new alien species was really hot.
Not good, not well done, just hot. I actually found them not necessarily just. You think about how many alien species like Mass Effect 1 introduced, right? Not just like playable ones, but just like, the Hamar, and just like all sorts of characters like that. And like the fact that you go to Andromeda, a new galaxy, and there's just one. There's only one other alien species, and not even all the other species that we experienced from the first game either. Which is like justifiable because the arcs, right? But like, it's like
I really feel like the arcs were a mistake.
What, it should have just been like one arc?
No, I feel like you should have like gotten on a scout ship that has you, maybe 2 other people on it, and then like I just don't feel like adding that huge. Either set it in the Milky Way or leave some of that baggage behind.
Yeah, I guess I liked it. I guess I liked it well enough because of the idea of like I feel like there's a way in which if the Andromeda had been like as fully fleshed out as the Milky Way, like a small. I also like it because I like the ending of 3 and that they have the build up and a like nod towards, hey, we don't think that we're gonna make it against the Reapers. This is our last hope. and sending that out, I liked a lot. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fortunate.
Fair enough.
um,
Their DLC
No,
got
I like
canceled and
3.
started-
I'm a big defender of 3.
Yeah. The DLC got canceled. Story. Yeah. I know there was supposed to be more DLC with the wasn't there a whole thing with like the oh my god, I'm forgetting every alien species name, but the Geth creators.
To Death Creators.
The Geth creators. The
Oh.
ones,
Oh yes. The Tali's
Quarians?
race. The the Quarians.
Yeah. They like there wasn't their arc like Quarians. It wasn't their entire arc like not. Yeah. All of us only need one arc, the Ark of the Covenant. Put down your girlfriend, head tentacles, and pick up a Bible, people. Krogan. I fucking love the Krogans. The Krogan arcs, and also Morden's fucking arc over the course of Game 2 and Game 3 is so good. I won't say anything about it in case any of you haven't played Mass Effect. Because there are some things that you can mention and reference that are like really not spoilers, because they're basically not only being telegraphed, but explicitly stated as what's coming from like Game 1 to Game 3. But some things and some payoffs, I am like, yeah, I'm not going to ruin that. Although how you get it depends on your course of actions, because you very much could not ever see what I'm talking about.
That's true. That is true. He is the very model of a scientist Solarian. You're right, Demons.
Dude, I remember when I found that interaction, I was just like, what else is in this game?
Yeah, I think I prefer Dragon Age to Mass Effect, but I do love Mass Effect.
Is any of that like just a general preference for fantasy over science fiction?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It could be. Yeah, it definitely could be. Oh my god, I'll tell you what. So I played Skyrim through recently again. And all I could think the whole time was, this game's good, and I modded it, so it was better than good, maybe a little bit. But like, I kept thinking, oh my god, the writing and the world building in Morrowind blows this game out of the water.
It really does. Which is like, I
Like
don't
this-
know what happened in between like the late 90s and early 2000s to like the writing and world building in like stuff in like the late aughts and the early teens. But like, boy, that was a lot of the old style of, maybe it's just because so much had to be built on writing. Like, you think about CRPGs, right? And it's like, you couldn't rely on good, like, particularly amazing mechanics, or so you kind of had to lean harder on the writing. Whereas now, you don't have to quite as much.
I mean, I feel like just singularly the writing of Vivek as a character, like, is better than all of Skyrim cumulatively. In terms of writing, again. I will say, I think that I did read that they wrote Morrowind on LSD.
That tracks.
It really tracks.
That really tracks.
Yeah, I think I do remember reading that.
God
They
damn
like
it,
two
Bean.
guys. Bean's kind of a badass, but in a bad way. He should stop beating us up like that. Stop being so cruel to us, Bean. Then again, Bean has saved our lives several times.
Paying the penance forward.
Including saving us from nearly rage quitting for FF1 once.
That was so close. Has anybody? So sorry, because I've been talking to Neri, I'm so used to being able to follow with you guys along much closely. Has anybody had any interesting conversations that we've like missed out or haven't gotten a chance to get back to?
Let me have a look.
You have to take the bad with the good.
Mostly I've been injecting the chat. I've been keeping an eye on it and injecting it into our conversations. So
Good. Do you think you're gonna play Dead Space?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could play Dead Space.
Well, just like, do you think you're gonna play it? From what you've heard.
Oh,
about
am I gonna play it? Yeah, probably at some point. Yeah, probably at some point.
Dead Space.
Drunk Dead Space would be pretty good. We should play Drunk Outlast at some point, or Alien Isolation.
Yeah. I guess we're just talking about drunk horror stream at this point. Well, guys, you gotta better hurry up and fund the Naniri Chibi so we can switch to the next goal to drunk stream.
Demins has said that okay, they just wrote the 36 lessons of Vivek on LSD, which again makes sense. Man, like the writing in that game feels so much more progressive than Skyrim and Oblivion. Like Vivek's, I mean, I guess it's because Dharmic religions are such a huge influence on Morrowind. Like Hinduism and Buddhism are enormous influences on it, but
well, and also you're talking about a game series that up until that point hadn't exploded, so a lot more people with like there probably wasn't as much scrutiny eyes on it. And then on top of that, you have like I don't know. I think you're probably right. I mean, just even like the Nords. The Nords are not exactly known for their progressive attitudes.
But that's true. Yeah. I mean, to Mins, that sounds like the kind of writing that I like to see in my creators. So, yeah, if you're not waking up the next day huddled in a pile of papers, then yeah, what's the point?
And this is why it takes forever for you to edit lore talks.
Yeah, fair. There is a passage. Oh no, go on.
I was just saying, would a drunk alien or Dead Space just be constantly dying? No, because frankly, Daniel, I'm good at video games, and being drunk would not change that. Look, I'm not saying I'd be like, yes, I could clear Elden Ring while sloshed. However, I am saying that if you put me in Dead Space, I definitely could clear Dead Space while drunk. No question.
We made some progress in Elden Ring while sloshed.
And trying a build of, like, abilities and stuff that I'm like, I've never used anything like this.
Yeah, we did a random dice roller, right? We did a spin the wheel, Alex Trebek thing, whatever it's called.
Oh, right, I forgot about that. And we ended with you happily snoring.
Sleeping?
No, not just sleeping. Oh, my friend, not just sleeping. Everyone was the adulterous sounds of your...
Oh my god.
This is 4-8, right?
Also, Dead Space isn't all that hard, to be honest.
The new one's harder. The new one's definitely harder.
Oh, is it? Okay.
The original is not that hard, no. The new one, they are really aggressive. They definitely bumped up, like, the level to which they will be aggro on you.
Okay. Alright, that's interesting.
Like, noticeably.
Oh, there is one passage from the 36 Lessons of Vivek that I just wanted to bring up, in which Vivek's mother grows milk fingers, which is supposed to be penises, and impregnates herself, which is an interesting piece of world building.
That sounds like LSD.
Yeah, right?
Okay, it says that
oh, milk fingers.
Door on the right is supposed to be it, so why...
Daniel says, what's your favorite horror game?
What's my favorite horror game? I feel like I have to caveat it a bunch of different ways. Like, because I really love the original Fear, but the original Fear also doesn't really perfectly hold up.
No, I've replayed it and I don't think it's amazing. But there's so many different genres of horror game. You can't group them all together, I don't think.
Like, you can't really compare Dead Space to Doki Doki Literature Club.
Right? PT is a strong competitor despite not being a game.
Like, I really love Silent Hill 2. I mean, like, you know, fresh, hot take. But, like, a big part of why I love it is not really the horror of it, but the melancholy of it. You know?
Silent Hill 2's enormous benefit would be... Oh, yeah, we just discussed Tigarashi earlier, Daniel. But, yeah, the enormous benefit of Silent Hill 2 is probably from the character moments that are interspersed between the horror, I would say. But my favorite Silent Hill game, I love all the Silent Hill games, all of them very, very much, but I absolutely adore Silent Hill 4, which is, I know, a controversial opinion.
Right, The Room. I started playing, I still haven't finished that, but mostly because I bounced off it mechanically, which I know is like you beat Silent Hill 2. I just bounced off of it. It was just like I wasn't. You know when you like sometimes play older games that haven't aged perfectly and you can't get in the headspace.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But I totally I can see with the room and its like style, like not just its style, but its sense of like atmosphere. Why not only you like it, but like why it could be a favorite. The problem is just it's not really a Silent Hill game.
No, that's true. But the best Silent Hill games, Silent Hill is very hard to quantify as outside of its basal themes. It's hard to quantify. I think there's a lot of variants. Catholic guilt, I guess, is one of them.
I would almost say religious guilt more because like how many of the times though is like it not just around like Catholicism, but sometimes it's around like Zen Buddhist or Shintoist like philosophies through the lens of someone who's supposed to be Catholic and like the iconography of Catholic guilt, but also it's like that's part of what makes Silent Hill weird is that like how often it'll be like American icona, like you have like everything about 2 is super not American despite visually looking American. Like there's so much that has more to do with like Buddhist purgatory and hell than it does like anything in a like traditional Christian sense.
No, that's definitely true. I just meant in the sentiment that I get from some of the characters in it. But yeah, no, you are right that there are very significant influences from Dharmic Faith, of course.
Inside's great. Same guys who did Limbo. Inside's wonderful. Inside's really interesting though because it's almost more of a 1984. I mean, it's horrifying and existential, and you know, it's. Would I consider it a?
This is the problem, right? That each so many of these games are entirely different genres, despite being horror games. I'm
gonna look up like.
I will say Soma.
Soma's great. Soma would also.
Soma gave me an existential crisis.
I was about to say, if you want to teach like basics of like, there's a couple philosophical courses that I feel like you could start out by just having people play Soma and then going from there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That'd be a great, be a great question, creating like an intro to philosophy course but you like what video games you would give people to play in order to be like the homework.
Yeah.
Okay, Alan Wake. I like Alan Wake.
Alan Wake, yeah. Like we said, Soma. Disco Elysium. Political theory. Students should be made to play Disco Elysium.
I'll just agree with that. Whether you like it or don't like it, I think you can't argue that it is not very good at least being an intro to that discussion. I guess in general, I would say I'm more into horror games, at least on the horror side, that make me feel something that's not just fear, but it like unnerves and disturbs me. Like things that leave me brokenhearted. Horror games that leave me brokenhearted are always going to be more of my preference. Wait, Minwoo? Why is Minwoo here?
Oh, hi Minwoo.
I've been waiting for you, Elio. Though I've managed to reach the seal, the magic binding it appears to be extremely strong. I will concentrate every bit of the power I have on the door. If it is enough to seal, it should shatter.
Here.
Okay, you ready to read? You might have a line. Everyone, stand back.
Okay, all right.
Oh, maybe not.
Ray has arrived.
Ray, good to glad to have you. Welcome to the horror game stream. Hey, we've been talking about a lot of things. We've been all over the world today.
Sounds
Dude,
like
he
us.
just Kamehameha the door?
He did. I told you Minwoo's badass. Oh, no, Minwoo. Oh, Minwoo.
I thought you were reading the line. Go through the door.
No, I was just...
You must take Ultima. Do not grieve. This was my destiny. Minwoo! Is FF2 the first one that did disappearing bodies? I'm trying to remember if FF1 ever does it. Like in a like narrative context. I mean, FF1 barely has.
Yeah, I think two.
I have to wonder if like 14's use of that comes about, like if that is actually considered part of like Final Fantasy iconography, or like, you know.
Yeah, like Aerith. No, Aerith's body. We had this discussion the other day, didn't we? And I said that Aerith's body disappeared and then was proven wrong. I can't do this again.
I bestow upon
so on
Go
on
ahead,
the
Diego, you're good.
topic of horror games, I didn't play it, but it's my favorite game that I've never played. Pathologic.
Yeah, same. Did you ever watch the H Bomber guy thing for that?
I did, and that's what got me onto it. And then I went to watch like 8 different playlists that broke down the games, and I was like, "Wow, this!
Yeah.
I didn't ever want to play these games, but this is incredible."
I would die playing any horror game. Well, Bean, we'll play horror games for you so you can watch the ones you want. I've not played FNAF. I would die. Really loved Hellblade. Yeah, Senua's Sacrifice is a good example of like that's really more about psychological. It's more about like psychology in a lot of ways than horror. The Last of Us is probably my limit on scary. Yeah, The Last of Us can definitely be scary. Would Xenogears be good for Gnosticism? I mean, it depends. A lot of people say like, oh, this thing is all about Gnosticism. It's like, yeah, but it's like saying, that Persona is meaningfully engaging with a conversation on Jungian archetypes instead of, no, it's like if a high schooler read something about Jungian archetypes and then like made superficially a game about it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any good candidate for Gnosticism, like in terms of games.
There is one, but I'm forgetting what it was.
Oh no!
Ray Ray's got ramen. Ooh, ramen. All over the world and still have no idea what the story is FS2 is about. Decoy, it's literally the story is, hey, an empire is taking over the world. Some young friends are who are orphans are trying to escape. They get taken out. By some of the Empire's men, but they get saved. Then they go on a journey to try and basically stop the Empire. And also, one of their 4 friends got lost along the way. They go on a journey to try and stop the Empire, and along that way they meet the Emperor. And the Emperor's like, haha, I'm David Bowie from the Labyrinth. And then right now we're trying to get the power of Ultima, a spell, so that we can use it to defeat the Emperor. That is, it's
Star Wars.
Oh my god, that was savage, Elio. What did I do? What did I do that was savage?
The comment about Persona being Jungian, juvenile.
I mean, I'm not trying. I love Persona. I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm just saying, like, don't treat a relatively superficial engagement with something as like a deep engagement with something. Like, it's not that. There's a lot of benefit to having a somewhat superficial engagement with something as a starting point, right? Like, that may be the introduction to the idea of young for a lot of people, and that's good. Like, you can't start at the deep end if you don't know how to swim, you know?
I actually agree with Demins here. He says that games about Gnosticism don't know what Gnosticism is, and neither does anyone else. I don't think Gnostics know what Gnosticism is. Yeah, you might be right.
They're definitely still arguing about it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
In my opinion, psychological thriller counts under horror umbrella, but I know a lot of genre movie folks love to argue that. I feel like it does. I feel like, I guess to me, it feels like the use to which you put it, right? But I think broadly, I would say if I had to put it somewhere, I would definitely put it under, I think horror's a pretty broad umbrella. I don't disagree, but that was savage.
I've always thought of thriller as like, a subgenre of horror.
Yeah. Okay, Crystal responds. I bestow upon thee the ultimate magic. You obtained the Ultima Tome. So, Ninir, are you ready to learn Ultima?
I am. I'm ready to learn Ultima, and I'm ready to get my shiny golden gear, and I'm ready to get the ultimate title.
We're gonna have a really interesting time with like later Final Fantasy because they're gonna be so much more narrative based. We're gonna have to like shut up more. I don't think we're ready.
Yeah, that is the reason that we're talking. I mean, let's be clear. No matter what content we're doing, we do tend to meander, but more narrative games are gonna require us to focus on the game itself a bit more. Yeah, sure. Well, shut the fuck up.
Let me look at from Mare City and Tower Mysidia. You go to back to Finn, not Finn.
Floyd.
We still don't have FF2. It seems like months. Yes, because we had a little bit of a break. Me and Neri had life complications.
We get FF3 after this, which is less narrative than 2.
In some ways, but also there's a lot more that's important to 14, so we can take the time to like really point out what's relevant. Because 2, I mean, basically it's beavers, and I guess the Emperor's named Mateus. Congratulations if you're on Mateus server.
Yeah, that's true. Oh god, Daniel says, "What is the ultimate JRPG?"
What do you want? Like,
That's
because like,
yeah.
even just literally a 3D RPG versus a 2D RPG, also an action RPG versus a live, like a real-time combat, like that alone drastically changes the answer. You know?
I would say it's not my favorite, but maybe the platonic ideal of an RPG would be Chrono Trigger.
Ooh, I was about ready to argue, and then you said Chrono Trigger. Fuck. Yeah, you might.
Yeah, I just feel like it's. I just feel like it's fundamentally like
Of
the
a
essence of a
classic-
JRPG.
Of like a classic JRPG, yeah, I think you might be right on that. If I had to pick absolutely one, and I'm sure people look, you could argue this until you're blue in the face, right? But if I had to pick of a 2D classic style JRPG, yeah, Chrono Trigger is
Right, exactly. I mean, but it's like you said, like with horror games, there are so many subgenres of JRPGs. Like Persona is a JRPG, and
Right.
Octopath Traveler isn't Octopath Traveler a Western RPG?
No, I'm pretty sure that's from the East.
It doesn't
Maybe I'm
feel. It doesn't feel archetypically JRPG. It doesn't feel like it's a JRPG in spirit.
I feel like it feels like a JRPG in spirit. I just think it's a modern. It's part of the era of the more modern take, which is different. That's why I denote specifically classic, because I think Octopath takes in a lot of of the more current conceptual ideas, both narratively and mechanically.
That's true.
It was, yeah, Naoki Kushima, because I know it's Square, but who actually developed it? Because it was Division 11, so that's in Square. That's in house in Square.
Okay. I mean, the thing that I'm not sure if I agree with you there. I think that the game series that's still doing really, really classic JRPGs, the only one that's doing it repeatedly is going to be Dragon Quest nowadays. That they're the only ones that are still carrying the OG torch in my mind.
See, but what would you define as very different, particularly between something like Octopath Traveler and Final Fantasy IV? Like, obviously, there's a lot of superficial, deep differences, but what exactly makes them not comparable?
Good question. Vibes.
Yes, the exact science of vibes. I feel like it's distillation of all older JRPGs. Yeah, so V, I think if you distilled all older JRPGs, but then added a lot of the not only quality of life, but changes of a lot of narrative stuff from I think if you play a lot of the stuff from the 90s, let's say, particularly, you can see the seed of what becomes Octopath Traveler, but I do think it's a new breed, a new era. What would be a good comparison point?
I think that's true, Bethany, saying that I think it depends for everyone in US. I think everyone has a slightly different definition of JRPG in their heart. Except for the boring people who just say it's a Japanese RPG.
Oh my god, this is the least interesting possible answer.
It is.
I was having a conversation with someone yesterday actually about Star Wars and about how what Star Wars means to people is just so wildly different. I know I have friends who Star Wars is defined by the bounty hunter, the Han Solo, the Boba Fett's, that kind of thing, as opposed to someone like me where it's more about the Force, Jedi. And so it's I think JRPG is almost in a similar camp. It's it's kind of like that whole Supreme Core. I can't define porn, but I know it when I see it. That's kind of how I feel about JRPGs. Oh, hello.
No, I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's what your definition criteria seems like. It depends on everyone on you ask. Yeah. Okay, but what's the best Dragon Quest? What's the if you had to pick a Dragon Quest? Because I mean, I haven't played all of them, but Cursed King is where it's at.
Yeah, Cursed King has to be the hallmark of the series. The most recent one is really good as well.
Yeah.
And then the one with angels in it is pretty good too.
Evangelion?
Okay,
Dragon Quest 6 Evangelion.
Calm down. Oh my god. I used to have so many arguments in high school about like I was like an ardent Evangelion defender, and that's because I was gay for Kaoru. But yeah,
I'll still
like
defend it.
yeah, I know, but like so many people are turned off it, like and by Shinji, and I'm like, oh, you wouldn't react any differently if you were horribly like put into that
I
unbelievable
totally agree.
situation.
I don't love. I mean, to me, the place it falls apart in its like final fourth, like hard, both in the original version and the redone version. I think in both kind of fall apart. But the Shinji reacting like a human and a teenage boy, for the most part, to me, I find compelling. Not like, well, why doesn't he just be hyper analytical and serious and have no emotions and respond non-emotionally to situations that are incredibly fraught? You know.
It's such a boring take on media. Look, Daniel, I love Serial Experiments Lane as well. I love that. I don't know if it can I don't know if it's a contender with. I mean, they're both pseudo sci-fi. Well,
You ready to read?
but I don't think Lane.
Hills
Oh yeah,
Line,
sorry.
if you're ready?
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
The Emperor's foul magic can control even the winds. Poft, Palum, Altair, Cotrea, each was destroyed in turn. And now the cyclone is headed for Finn.
Can I just say it's really cool that as a function of time over the course of the game, cities get destroyed. Like there are a lot of things that 2 does that is real like it's trying to like do some stuff.
What's the next game that does that?
4 does that.
Oh, it does. That's right. But much more sparingly.
Yes, yeah. But it does change the world state and stuff, like with the tower and stuff like that.
It does. The Emperor himself is controlling the cyclone. I have no doubt.
Okay. So that says that that's all we need to do. And that says we need to go to the mirror room. Where the fuck is the mirror room?
Mirror room. Hi, Tracy.
Go to the first floor, use the southwest stairs, then north.
I can't wait to get to a game which is intuitive and we can just play without a guide.
Tracy, good to see you. Glad to have you. Oh, that's cool, Demins. Legend of Legaia? I don't know that I've actually played that one. It was like my intro to JRPG. I love that game. And so what I think about when I think it's my final. I mean, a really good point you have with that would be, it was like, to me, what I would define as like a one of the quintessential types of JRPG. I would like look to 10. So like obviously I don't think 10 defines like what Final Fantasy is, but I think like in a lot of general sense, like the journey, adventure, character coming to grips with certain realities, turn-based combat, like a lot of things about it I could, but yeah, it's I'm just also
I love your love for 10 and I share it.
I'm
not
glad.
as intensely.
I'm gonna probably be intense about it, but I also kind of would find it hysterical if we played it and I end up like, nah, this is actually garbage.
Oh, I played SMT5. That's the most recent one, isn't it?
Not a ripple of imperfection mars the surface of this mirror. Oh no, yeah. I don't know why I would have thought to give a random mirror a pendant, but mirror absorbs the light emitted by the pendant.
An egg? Oh. Okay. Egg.
It's a Tamagotchi! Oh no! It's a Charizard!
Oh my god, I can't talk about Charizard. I teach too many 6-year-olds to talk about Charizard anymore.
The image of a young wyvern shimmers in the mirror. The last wyvern egg has finally hatched, and the wyvern is speeding towards Finn.
Okay. Work?
There must have been someone
Imagine...
hinting towards, like, if we, like, bring this pendant to something that reflects or something.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's still oblique, but...
Wyvern
Imagine
and
if it
Dragoon
just
together.
fl- Imagine if it had just flown into the windstorm and died on the way here.
Other than an FF2, are there any main lines?
Oh,
where you
it's
have-
dead.
where you have Dragon and Dragoon being a thing, like as like a mounted pair, because it's like you've got Kane. Like when I think of Dragoon, the quintessential example I think of is Kane.
Do you think?
I mean, now it's Estinian. But
11.
oh right, I'm not as familiar with 11, so that's part of.
Okay, well, the main part of the Dragoon class in that is that you have a dragon pet.
Right.
But no, after they become dragon slayers pretty definitively, pretty early on, right?
Oh, there's a secret.
I like that the. Oh, okay. Let's get the secret weapon. I like that the only reason that dragoons are thought of as relating to dragoons nowadays is because Japanese game developers thought, well, maybe even just D&D writers just thought that sounds like a dragon. It's not anything to do with dragon.
At least they did get the mounted cavalry part right.
Yeah, true.
You know, like so, like I mean, think about it. Like a dragoon flying on a dragon is like, you know, they got the spear right, they got the mounted cavalry right, they just got the animal wrong.
Right.
I feel like, you know, I mean, like, anyway.
Oh yeah, Demins. So SMT5 is the one that I played recently. It's the one where you get transgendered by the devil.
Part of me wants
It
to
was
know.
pretty
Part of me
good.
wants to keep that. I want to keep that forever a mystery and just let myself wonder what the fuck that's supposed to mean.
I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with SMT. Like, it's really fun to play in the short term, but I've never finished one of them.
Oh, actually, I've only ever played Personas, so I actually haven't ever checked it out on SMT. Like, I know about it, but I just love that the spin-off is bigger than the original.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, in fairness, Persona is better than SMT. You know, SMT is by far more of a character-driven series, and that's what really appeals to me.
Mm-hmm. Is this Paul?
Who's this
Yes.
guy?
This is Paul.
Hi,
I need to
Paul.
ask him about. You're planning to go into that thing? You do realize that's insane, right? I'll tell you what, I've been keeping a few things stashed away, and I want you to have them. Try feeling around the wall near my bed. If you bend over.
Oh,
can
you
see
dirty
stuff.
bastard!
Oh hell yeah. Oh yeah. Give me the good shit. Yeah, equipment.
Let's go. Go on your route. Oh, cool. That's cool, Demins. That's pretty cool.
Wait, it's. I feel like I read a thing that said the blood sword was really good.
Maybe it has a special effect.
It's normal, even hurts you even against it, but consider that each hit drains the active 116. Oh! So according to this, it deals 1/16 of the target's health every time. So 16 hits with it is an automatic kill, no matter what it is, even if it's...
So only against bosses, right? Like, don't bother using it against mobs.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go sell some of our extra weapons that don't mean shit.
Oh, has anyone played the new Fire Emblem? I have no interest in it.
I have not, but the Dead Space sold better than it.
I'm
Which
not
I find
surprised.
Crazy. I am.
I'm not a big fan of crossover games, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Well, I just basically I looked at it and it's doing everything. It's getting rid of everything that I liked that they changed for Three Houses, and then doing all the Animu stuff I don't like when Fire Emblem does it. So I'm like, okay, this will be the one I skip. Also, that character's look. Oh my god, the fucking hyper saturated
garbage.
red and blue is just. That's it.
It sucks.
That's. It's a choice for someone. It's just not the choice for me.
I've heard that the writing isn't as good as well. Which is like,
I wish I could see.
you know,
that,
Fire
to be honest.
Emblem has never had amazing writing, but
But I feel like Three Houses was like just really good across the board, so it was enough to elevate it because of its consistency.
Yeah. See, and then Fates was kind of a disappointment, but I love the art direction in it. And some of the character designs as well, like Hinoka. Is that the Oni lady? She was pretty hot. And then obviously, oh my god, what's the Chrome one? Oh, Awakening. Awakening was really good.
Neat combo you would use. Oh, that's cool, V. Oh, I think I have heard of that. All the JRP dungeon missing is harassment. Speaking of Pokemon in the area, the same person also voices Score Bunny, Rabu, and Cinderace in the anime. To be fair, if you stab anyone with the sword 16 times, they die. Yeah, that's fair. I'm very on the fence about the new Fire Emblem, but a friend has been trying to sell me on it. Not you.
No, I'm built different.
You just like getting stabbed over and over?
I'm a Lalafell. I've evolved to be eaten by birds and stuff. And worms.
Dude, I'm so excited to get to the South Sea Islands. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, me too. I feel like on the way to Mericidia.
Yeah, I think you're right. What if it was a dungeon? What if it was like fucking Siren Song?
Yeah, exactly. I've suggested it might be before, and that would be lame, but okay.
Yeah. What if that was the B town, or like even the A town?
Yeah, I mean, it could just be like a single zone, right? Like,
what if it's
and then like it's just like.
That'd be a cool dungeon.
Oh, it would be a cool variant dungeon. They could give me like tens of thousands of variant dungeons that I'd like.
Basically any variant dungeon I'd be happy with.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I will say I want them specifically to retread old ground with them. I don't want new concepts. Well, that's such a weird thing to say, right? Because I do, but I want it to be grounded in existing lore.
Yeah, well, and I think to start with at the very least, right? You know, like
yeah.
Get something like Ogomoro, like the northern half of Vilbrand, or something like that.
Oh, you know, some successful era stuff, maybe. Sorry, not sixth.
Fifth.
Fifth.
With like
Mach
and Amdapor.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's a coming. Don't you worry your little head.
I believe it. Oh yeah, Gobby variant dungeon. Brave Flux is very long.
Secret Gobby City is gonna be a variant dungeon. I will put money on that. The secret Golden Gobby City. Yeah, that definitely.
I will only play it if the endpoint is that we crown Brave Flux Queen.
The most important of alternate paths.
Hell yeah.
Okay, now we can sell. Keeping Blood Sword.
Moogle variant dungeon. I don't feel like there's much ground to tread there. That's true. Bean is the true money.
For the Moogle variant dungeon, what you just do is you just make it you just make it an Ishgardian, like ancient Dravanian ruins variant dungeon, and one of the routes is very Moogle focused because of the Moogles up in Journey Mist.
Okay, yeah, fine. Like a dragon route, an Ishgardian route. Yeah, okay.
Like a Moogle route.
Okay, I'd play it. But yes, Stimins, I recognize Bean's sovereignty over the Gobbies.
Adam, good to see you. Glad to have you. And yeah, it happens a lot, Ari. Blame Naniri being a Lalafell and Bean being a Lalafell and them corrupting all the innocents. Me and V try to fight back best we can, but there's only so much we can do. Yeah, no, the Hidden Gobby City is going to be a variant dungeon. I will put money on that. It's just a question of when.
Yeah, I would say raid, but we've already had a Gobby raid, so I feel like variant dungeon makes more sense.
Yeah. Well, and also like an entire raid that's like it's like, I feel like you'd want, especially with the Mirror City, you'd want to do something like Mirror City and focused. If you wanted to do an 8.0, there's another reflection, you want to do it that reflection focused, right? Because like
Yeah,
every
okay,
expansion,
fair
the raid has always been tied to a region that is within that expansion. But maybe if
Yeah,
Corvos
that's
is a
fair.
map for 7.0, I mean Corvos would be in theory, because like the Hidden Goblin City should, in theory, based off the geography we're provided for how they headed east, means that and it's not Othard because they're confused by goblins there. It means it's probably in Ilsabar.
I would say so.
Also explain why no one knows where it is currently.
Okay, Daniel. You need to stop talking right now.
Oh shit! Got Lalafell War!
That is not permissible rhetoric in this chat.
Daniel, I'm just gonna be honest about my opinion. You're wrong because those glassy eyes of the Dunesfolk are just adorable. Like they're just like so pure and like enigmatic pools of cuteness. I really hope Gobbies are just different ethnic group of Lala. Yes, there is. We have an FF11 has concept art that's here. I'll pull it up. Goblins FF11 concept art.
But we shouldn't take that too much as gospel.
No, I for now I choose to because I think it makes a lot of sense. But
Yeah, no, I do
Ninieri
too.
is right. Ninieri is right. We should not take that as too much gospel. But this is what they look like, supposedly.
Weird. I saw a lot of people asking when the goblin enemies came out in 14. You know the like the F1 goblins in 14.
Oh yeah, the ones like in Shadowbringers.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, the
on
Shadowbringers
like,
ones.
Shore.
Yes. I saw a lot of people asking, like, whoa, were these what goblins look like without the mask on? I was like, no, you fools. Know your
they're
history.
hobgoblins.
Yeah.
Know your history. Is there a side against Lalafell? I don't think so, because usually that side gets genocided.
The side against the Lalafell is being funded by the Lalafell secretly.
No, Dunesfolk, it's not that they look like they have no soul, it's that they're so full of soul that their eyes are like pools of wonderful color.
Right?
Yeah, as I said last night, it's a protective covering for dust. Yes, in lore, the reason that that their eyes look like that is because it's a protective covering against the Thanalin's sand.
Yes. Which is goodwill building.
Lalafellian Civil War. Whoever wins, we lose. Well,
I had a not to meander again.
I
had a minor breakdown yesterday.
I'm sorry,
I had a minor breakdown yesterday because I was reading a passage from the Epic of Gilgamesh and it made me cry.
Okay, so how was it about gay lovers?
Yeah, it was Gilgamesh returns to a city after Enkidu dies, and
I knew it was gonna be
no one.
Okay.
No one there remembers Enkidu, and Gilgamesh is like screaming at the sky that no one will ever know Enkidu like he does, and that's just like I was like, this is sad. And it doesn't help that it was laid over. Oh, what was it laid over? Let me have a look.
Tangents in my Elio Ninieri stream. Ninieri, one of these days we're just gonna have to get you enough funding that you can take a month off from work, and we just do it like a month-long full stream, unending, and just like we just do nothing but play, talk, and it just unceases. I'm sure that sounds absolutely wonderful, and in no way like oh hell no.
You're damn right. It sounds wonderful.
How could this happen to me? Two lovers destined for one another. In fair Verona. Isn't Enkidu the chicken in 14? Yes. Because the Enkidu and Gilgamesh, because that's part of like the original story. So because Gilgamesh's like sidekick has a chicken that's a sidekick, they named it Enkidu. Or maybe they wanted him to have a sidekick named Enkidu, so they made it the chicken. I don't know which came first. The chicken or the
I mean, Enkidu is a beast man in his first appearance, so I guess
Right.
chickens are beasts.
Poor Craig.
Ontologically, a chicken is a beast.
All that I remember about Gilgamesh is that sex apparently civilizes Enkidu. You're not. The thing is, usually with a comment like that, you think, oh, you're taking out of context, but you're literally not. That is just true.
It is
That
true.
is just the case. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Uruk, where we lay our scene. Beautiful, Ari.
Oh my god, I can't find it. That's so frustrating. I can just find Columbo appreciation posts on my Tumblr now.
Sorry, my partner just messaged me.
fair
She's
Uruk.
been looking at getting a new Switch.
Ooh,
and
nice.
she just messaged me the new OLED Zelda one, and I'm like, you can't buy that. She's like, why not? And I'm like, because I'll want to play it too much.
Are you excited for the for
Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm very, very, very excited. It's funny, I recently saw someone being like, these trailers are all garbage because they're being way too vague and obscure about the information. And I'm like, but these games are all about mystery and exploration and the sense of wonder of discovery. Like, it's kind of...
Oh yeah. You say it's too vague. I say it gives me an excuse to watch 30-minute videos about the what are they? The Zanai tribe?
Zonai? Yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay,
Zonai.
here's the Nintendo Black Crisis video. Okay, here's the Celtic video. Okay. I also, you mentioned Mikula earlier and immediately mentioned Trina. I'm like, someone watched the body video.
You got me. You got me.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, whoa, lol, what the fuck? How dare they not spoil everything? Yeah, exactly. It's funny because it's from someone I follow who I'm like, generally, I think a really thoughtful guy, but he said that and I'm just like, that's a weird take.
People are allowed to have the odd wrong take. It's. I'll judge you
Yeah.
for it, but you're allowed to have it.
I've never had a bad take on anything from Neri, clearly.
Neither
I never
have I.
understood why Zelda games seem to be all about someone who... Well, it's about the legend of Zelda, right? It's the legend of Hyrule, of Hylia, and she's the embodiment, being the embodiment of Hylia, her champion, Link, right? And it is the legend of Zelda, it is the legend of Link, it is the legend of Ganondorf, and it's also the legend of Hyrule. So it being a legend of the story around her and the repetition of cycles, I think is appropriate. And I'm pretty sure Ray Ray was just making a joke, but I decided to go with face value.
I know this, and I love you.
I love you. Okie dokie doke. Fast forward.
Okay, that's gonna drive me crazy that I can't find that post. I think it was a Game of Thrones edit that it was put on. Well, yeah. It would have been the books, but because I have taste.
You know what? I'm not gonna worry about trying to get everything because, frankly, we don't need to unlock everything to feel good about the. Like, as long as we can kill the Emperor, I think we'll be okay.
No. Yeah, we don't need to.
I feel like I'm alone in
Frankly.
feeling I much prefer the Ocarina style Zelda as opposed to the Breath of the Wild. I don't think you're alone, Daniel. I think the thing is I just love both. Like, and the thing is, like, to me, is
Yeah.
that Zelda's always evolved. The thing is that Ocarina, people are like, well, Ocarina used to be linear. It's like, well, the original Zelda was like Breath of the Wild. And then, so was, you know, Link. And then Link to the Past was kind of between the two. And then Ocarina became very linear, and then that became the style for, you know, from Ocarina up until to Skyward Sword, basically. So, like, to me, there's always been room for both.
No, I like. There's no singular style of Zelda. My favorite Zelda is probably Twilight Princess, but I love most of them.
I don't think it's the best, but my favorite might be... Like, it's not even my favorite to play, but my favorite might be Majora's Mask, just because its world and sense of melancholy and, like, all that just hits me so good. I love Majora's Mask for the same reason I love Silent Hill 2, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. Majora's Mask is really, really good. And so is So is Ocarina of Time. So is Skyward Sword, I would say. Which I know
I think
some
Skyward
people
Sword is
don't
just
like.
deeply hampered by its opening.
Yeah, it
The
is.
its
A lot of
pacing is
people
not
have been true. A lot of people have been conceiving of Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom as a trilogy. With
I guess that makes sense. The beginning and the end.
right, they've been thinking of like Skyward Sword. They correlate it to the Triforce. So like Breath of the Wild, Wisdom, Skyward Sword Power, and then
The
the
Dawn of Power because of Demise,
Ti-
the Dawn of Wisdom because of, like the Sheikah and all the obviously yeah, and the Awakening of
Right.
Zelda, and then
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah.
yeah, because the Zonai tribe are so heavily linked with the Triforce of Courage.
Yeah. Well, that's even the addition of the green energy, right? Whereas the only Malice and the Sheikah's blue energy existed prior.
Right, exactly.
I absolutely love the Ocarina of Time. They kind of have a hard time engaging with everything after it for a similar reason, but Breath of the Wild is just too good not to love. Yeah. I mean, like, that's the thing to me is, like, will I be thrilled when they go back to, like, a really refined, more linear Zelda? Yeah. Like, I don't want perpetually to be open world. I think, like, the diminishing returns. But I can also understand why. The thing is, I'm not usually a huge open world person in general, but Breath of the Wild did what Elden Ring did, which it gave me a sense of discovery. Like, Siofra as well, right? In Elden Ring, the first time I saw that, I just felt like such wonder. Same time I first found Ash Lake in Dark Souls 1. Breath of the Wild, similarly, there were moments where I just like found myself at the edge of the world and finding crazy things or dragons or ancient ruins where they're not where like the game directed you to go in any way, but just like where you expected there to be just absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, I agree. The Breath of the Wild is so good. I know it has its defenders, and you might be one of them. I did not care much for the durability mechanic.
Oh, I think it's I don't think it's a completely bankrupt idea. Its annoyance meant that I'm not a big fan. I don't think it's ardently terrible, but I do think its annoyance and its constant breaking of things made it. The thing I will say in its defense is I liked being forced to have to try out different things.
Yeah.
The problem was when those things broke after 2 smacks, so you weren't really trying out things, you were just basically keeping ammo.
It does feel like an ammo mechanic. Like, there are games that do it. Like, I think, like Dark Souls durability is a very defendable mechanic.
You know, what's interesting for me for Dark Souls, though, is that Dark Souls basically doesn't matter most of the time. Like, the only time durability has ever come into the equation for me, ever, was in Dark Souls 2 when the frame rate bug still existed.
Oh, that was pretty rough.
Yeah. So, like, for me, for those of you who don't know, Dark Souls 2, when it first came out, had its frame rate. The durability of weapons was tied to the frame rate because the frame rate was locked. So if you managed to unlock the frame rate, if you let's say you went from 30 FPS to 120 FPS, your weapons would break 4 times as fast.
It was
wild.
It was a very Dark Souls 2 kind of bug.
That's a great way to put it. Yep.
I say this as an ardent Dark Souls 2 defender.
I deeply love Dark Souls 2. I think it is the black sheep. I think it is the most janky of them, but I do deeply love
it. It is. Yeah, that's fair.
And I honestly,
but like,
how good it is and the level to jank of which it's at for what it went through in development is mostly shocking that it's as good as it is.
I feel like it's with games like that, the bad is almost charming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like Fallout New Vegas. Like, the jank is charming.
Mm-hmm. Do you have you ever seen the video of like the original version of the gutter? I think Illusionary Walls has done it. I'll have to send it to you. It's seeing things like it. The original version of the gutter was so much more interesting and fascinating, and not just Blighttown 2, but worse. And it makes me sad because like if they had had time, I think the gutter could have been like a really really famous and cool spot.
Okay, did they recycle it into the first DLC?
No, they never really used it as a concept. It was much
Okay.
more of like an enormous chamber beneath beneath the castle, but with like a bunch of civilization and where the dwarves, like the dwarf guys were. And there were a bunch of cool things, like a bunch of houses and buildings had fallen down there. So like a bunch of the like rooms and buildings and stuff were upside down buildings. And just all sorts of stuff. It was just like very, very cool. Much more interesting. What the fuck
That's
is
pretty
that?
cool. An amoeba. I like
I
that.
really hope we don't see that in FF14. No one
I
tell
hope we
Yoshi
do.
about this. I mean, like a Hecteye is
It-
kind of close, but this is worse.
It looks like it would taste like sour apple.
I was thinking more about how it looks like it would come out of a nose, but sure.
Oh, okay. I mean, if your snot is neon green, then I support you in that, and I support you in going to the hospital.
Doesn't your snot glow in the dark, Larry?
No, I tend to, I don't take trips to Fukushima very often.
See, neither do I, but I keep hanging out by Chernobyl.
Oh,
Breath of the
okay.
Breath of the Wild is one of the few open world games I can enjoy because of the sense of wonder and discovery. Yeah, I relate to that. So many open world games just plop you in a map
Yeah,
and say, go
me
forth
too.
with no reason or as to why, or just have you doing checklists. Like that's the other thing that drives me crazy is that there's checklists.
Yeah,
'Cause I
that's
feel
the Dragon
compelled
Age
to-
Inquisition issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My problem is-
and then I'm like, I've sunk like 40 hours into a playthrough, and I'm like, but I haven't done any of the fun stuff yet.
Yeah. Ray Ray's never played a Zelda game. All they know about is from what other people say. Which, wait, actually, okay, Ray, I want you to explain to me what The Legend of Zelda is based on what you understand of it from what other people have told you.
Yeah, do it, please. Oh yeah, the Far Cry style. I was gonna say the Assassin's Creed style, but yeah.
The Ubisoft formula, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Remember when Assassin's Creed games were about assassination?
Well, I will say I kind of like the RPG ones a little bit, but it's too
can
much.
like it then
It's
if I-
too much of a commitment.
I can like them if I don't think about them as Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, that's fair. They're not Assassin's Creed games.
I mean, at this point, they've been going just as long or longer, though, so... There's this
Have
guy called
really?
Link who has a crush on this princess. Okay, so far you're you're talking about what could basically be a romance game, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, I'm with it.
How many Zelda games are there where it's explicit, where Link has a romantic interest in Zelda? It's not very many.
Is that what games are there where that's explicit?
I think Breath of the Wild gives at least a couple of lines that like really strongly imply that there's a romantic interest between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true, but it's not fully explicit.
No. No, I guess there's not really one where it's really explicit. And for reasons
No,
he
I
has
don't
to
think there
travel
is
around.
one.
Okay, now I'm imagining
Yeah,
Legend of
he
Zelda,
do-
but it's an Oregon Trail. That's about all I know. So what you're saying is Link, he came to town. He came to save the Princess Zelda.
He do be traveling. He do be traveling.
Except for when he be sailing. Or when he be training.
And there's a funky little goth bitch in one of them.
You said that, and literally my brain like went to tail instead of. I have no like. I didn't even know which one. Funky little goth bitch. Give me a second. I can get this.
Well, think about what
Midna.
my favorite
Midna.
game is.
Midna.
Yeah.
Yeah. That took me a second.
Well, it could be Midna, it could be Zant, it could be that fruity little guy from Skyward Sword.
I definitely like, yeah, Girahim.
Yeah, Girahim.
If you had an evil
An
pigman in
icon.
there, Ray, you got a basic idea of most Zeldas. Is it even
No,
the same
it's
link
not
in
the same
different
link.
games?
Well, Ocarina of Time
basic-
and Majora's Mask are the same link.
Yes, and so is Phantom Hourglass and Wind Waker.
Link's
But,
Awakening. Oh, wait.
Yeah, and Link's Awakening. Yeah,
Wait,
with
yeah.
Oracle Seasons. So basically, the idea is that these three roles, these three people, and basically reincarnate over, every few generations. So like, there's always a Ganon, there's always a Zelda, there's always a Link. Then they represent power,
Elio-
wisdom, and courage.
Elio
What were
not
you saying?
fall in love with a reincarnation story, impossible mode.
Don't call me out like that. You're not wrong, but don't call me out like that.
If you ever need to find Elio, just sprinkle cyclical themes on the floor in front of him. Okay,
Definitely don't
well,
like
very good. I need to. How do I do the Emperor voice? What was my Emperor voice?
It was basically as David Bowie as you can go.
Oh yeah, it was Labyrinth, wasn't it? Was it like so? Was that it? I think so.
I think so.
We're going with it. So, you've revived the Wyverns. He says Wyverns like that. And now, here you are.
Sorry, I'm changing it.
Yet you are but insects, unworthy of even being crushed under my foot. This
I
guy
probably
definitely
should've
sells feet pics.
I'm pretty sure. Are you saying that that's how he funded his empire? Is he just sold feet pics?
Yes. Yes. His real guard are just platinum subscribers.
So what you're saying is we should change our Patreon reward so that the final thing is just called Royal Guard?
Yes. So, you've some skill after all. Let us see how you manage against this. Oh, okay.
The
Well,
same thing, but
that's
one
not-
more.
That's not very inventive, is it, Square?
Come on, guys. Clockwork, welcome back. I think many of us would, Daniel.
If it's for real guards, I'm going to lose my mind. Quite extraordinary, really.
Not really. We just killed a couple of your guards, but
It would seem I've sorely underestimated you. You should consider that I am about to do you a great honor. I shall kill you personally. Actually, I think the Emperor should just be Dennis Reynolds from Always Sunny.
why is the golem made of wood? I feel like that would be a very poor choice of material.
Oh, I thought it was clay. It looks
It
like
says
clay.
wood golem.
It does. That's interesting.
You're gonna have to try
What?
harder than that,
Yeah.
friend.
If there was going to be a wood golem, it would be like the first golem you fight, right?
Right. It truly would be a great honor to be killed by David Bowie.
Yeah, okay. I mean, out of all the people, oh my god. Sorry, one of my friends just sent me a picture of, you know, well, no. You know, Fate.
Yes,
A
but just
card
one
of
second, I
Harriet.
What a punk ass bitch. Anyways, yes, you were saying?
He was pretty punk ass. A card of sexy anime Harriet Tubman that apparently exists in Fate.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Fate Stay Night loves taking characters throughout history and making them into basically JoJo stands. So for instance, you've got characters like
Ely.
Oh my god. Tesla's Edison.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what Edison, like Thomas Edison, looks like in Fate Go, this is what he looks like. And you know what? And I love that every time that Demins is here, he comes up on the stream. So that is Thomas Edison. Let's see, what's Fate Harriet Tubman look like? So, I know I didn't spell that right. That. Fate Go card. Huh. It doesn't seem like it's up yet. It must be a new one. But you've got all sorts
yeah.
of stuff. So like Tesla. Yeah, so that's Fate for you. He looks more more attractive than the real Thomas Edison, at least.
Yeah, true.
All
You've got
you.
me there. No, I will not die. Oh, okay. Well,
The timing.
that doesn't seem to be true, does it?
Athena, Emperor, and Pandemonium confirmed. It's over.
Ooh.
We should get back to Finn. They'll be waiting. Oh, that's a good conversation. Which version of what movie David Bowie would you want to be killed by?
Huh. No, let's just go like Ziggy Stardust.
I'm gonna go with his the Prestige Tesla because he probably could do it painlessly.
Fair.
All you.
Through your efforts, we finally defeated the Emperor. Thank you. The world was shrouded in darkness, okay, but now the light of peace shines once more. Elio, Niniri, Bean, Ricard. What more could we ask of you? The tales of your bravery will be handed down for generations. Now, let us celebrate. Many have come hoping to catch a glimpse of the heroes who brought down the Emperor. I wouldn't want to disappoint them. Is this the medal ceremony from Star Wars?
No, apparently it's a
Dance?
ballroom blitz.
Where's Bean? And why is Faris there?
Where is Bean? Where's Rickard? Are they off in a corner?
Bean and Rickard are off fucking in the corner.
Also, like, where the frickafrack is our, like, actual final ally that we've been missing the whole time?
Right?
Did we get him at the end?
Right? Huh.
My ladies,
Okay.
my lord, the Dark Knight, Issa has declared himself emperor. He reorganized the Palametian Empire. He'll send troops. He'll slaughter us all. Ugh.
Okay. It can't be.
Issa. Oh, that was, oh, that's you. Issa.
Issa, that's like kind of hardcore. Why is Faris in the throne room? Isn't she just like a random pirate girl?
I guess.
Oh, Layla, sorry.
Layla.
Issa, the Dark Knight? But I thought he was your friend, your brother.
Well, look, we haven't seen him in a bit.
I'll go to him. I'll make him understand. He must be under the spell of the Emperor. I know it! If he's ascended the Emperor's throne, there's only one place he can be. Palamecia.
New line.
Castle Palamacia is a fortress situated high in the mountains. It cannot be approached on foot. Seems like a bad capital to have for your country.
I mean, there's a long
Isa.
legacy of that.
Yeah. Isa, the Dark Knight. Do you really think you can fight Niniri's brother, poser?
This is our battle. You have to let us finish it.
I had a feeling you'd say that. Just make sure you come back. It's an impregnable fortress.
Lady, good to see you. Glad to have you.
Luckily, Paul doesn't know the meaning of the world. I've heard him bragging about breaking in. Such a jock.
I feel like you should. It's probably best to like make sure that within your vocabulary you understand the word impregnable, and that is not one that you you doubt.
If you're a thief, yeah.
I mean, think about it though. Like, you got Garlemald, you've got Niflheim, you've got like there's a long legacy of the Empire, imperial capitals of Final Fantasy games being in weird fucking places.
Right. Who's that angry guy?
The cyclone really didn't
Oh,
over on me
Sid.
back in Paloon. Ugh, my body isn't taking too kindly to moving it around.
Oh.
Sid, okay. I'm a mess is what I am. But my airship made it through without a scratch. I want to land it to you. That's land, you hear? Be waiting her back. You take a good care of her, eh? Sid! Sid! No! Hold on! Oh fuck, Sid's dead?
Okay.
That's pretty-
This seemed
I feel like that
unnecessary.
I feel like that doesn't happen a lot. Oh, lady! Enjoy Archon! Enjoy your emotes as well as anybody else here who has access to emotes. Always, you can share your favorite one. Oh, and also, Deadpool! People want to see Deadpool.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was Sid's dying wish, you know. He knew he was dying, but he was ready. He planned on giving you the airship when it is time to. Yeah, he definitely was ready. That's why he said he was lending it. He loved that ship with all his heart, and he entrusted it to you. Think about that. The time I snuck into the castle, I used a kite to land on the roof. It was kind of like that guy in Sekiro who comes at you and fires himself like a giant missile.
Oh my god.
The
I
only
hate
way
that
is
guy.
from above, from the sky. If there was ever time to use Sid's final gift to you, I'd say this was it, wouldn't you?
Now, I will say before we get to the castle, this may be a good time for us to call it.
That you may be right. It's quite late, and you said that you would like to not go infinitely for you like that thing called sleep.
I feel like 3 a.m. is a good stop, which is now is like a
Yeah.
good stop point for me on these streams.
Good. The fact that they have to go. all
They
the way to
showed us where
things
something is. Yeah,
for
that
once.
is revolutionary.
The new they only figured out that technology at the very end of development. That's why it's at the end of the game.
Yeah, right.
So, we will be back to doing these every Thursday regularly. After this goes out, I'm also going to be posting a short that Ray helped me write, or actually did most of the writing, frankly, or at least the most conceptualization, about chocolates. About a chocolate conspiracy in Eorzea. And also, we had such a time writing the short that we actually are probably going to write a full video at some point, because there was a lot of information we cut out. But let's just say that the Culinarians Guild and Kukuru growers of Eorzea may or may not be part of a conspiracy to control the mass production and sales of chocolate throughout Eorzea. And that's what Valentine's is part of.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go get the boy before we head out, though. Deadpool!
Yes, get the boy. Chocolate Illuminati lady. Bring the Deadpool. I have 2 dogs here, but I don't have a webcam, so I can send them in the Discord chat though, or at least one. It's yeah, fur babies. Okay, I'm sending it in fur babies. Oh, nice, Daniel. Oh yeah. Send all of your pup pheromones for us. Music is very soothing to me. I'm really chilling out from it. There's never a wrong time to take a nap, lady. I mean, well, maybe that's not strictly true, but there's rarely a wrong time to take a nap. Elio's been eaten by Deadpool. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense, lady. Maybe not the best thing to sleep while being crossing guard, I suppose. I did once very nearly fall asleep in a lesson while teaching. And by once, I mean like every other weekend it happens.
Sorry about that, guys. Deadpool has an upset tummy, so he's having a hard time.
Well, Daniel also subscribed. Daniel also became an archon.
Come here. I got a boy. Daniel, thank you for our Archon membership. It goes a long way towards making this whole thing a lot more sustainable and means that we can allow ourselves to do all sorts of fun stuff. It also means that we get to add more emotes to the emotes that you guys can use from. But yeah, he's having a little bit of tummy troubles today, so.
Baby.
It's gonna be okay, bud. I won't keep you up too long. There you go. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap up here. Again, we're gonna be doing these every Thursday. Next time we're gonna finish our we're gonna finish 5F2. Now I'm like tempted to almost like say like, Nir, do you want to try doing Fridays too or something to like so that we could like get through them even faster?
Oh, I can't do Fridays because I have to work very early on Saturdays.
Right, you have work. Forget about that. Yeah, but no worries. Okay, we're gonna head out here. Usual things. If you want to join us, go over and join our Discord, Eorzean Archives. Where we do a lot of stuff, usually 14 focused, but we do have a lot of fun conversations. There is also a general chat. Beyond that, if you want to support us, you can support us over on Patreon or Super Chats, or join us with Archon membership, where you get access to fun emotes. It goes a long way towards making this whole thing sustainable, getting fun rewards for us and the community, and get your rewards like names in the banner above my head, as well as other things, and your names in the credits of our videos. Other than that, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the main thing. Great stream, guys. Nice to hear Naniri again. Yeah, Naniri, I can't tell you how lovely it is to spend time with you. Oh, Raven,
It's
I'm
been
sorry.
a pleasure.
Don't worry, Raven. You can rewatch the old one, and it's gonna be every week.
We're
yeah.
just as dysfunctional as ever.
Hey, it is entertaining, and if the goal's entertainment, I think we are quite functional. Thank you very much. But
Yeah, you're right.
Also, don't forget that there are events that we have over in the Discord, things like running PvP together, maps, or glam contests. So, definitely check back up on those. That's cool, Raven. Okay, but with that said, I have been Elliot Forshaw.
And I've been in Neri.
And we will see you guys very, very soon. Yes. PvP with Bean tonight.